against West Ham. But these are two of the early pace setters of the Premier League season. Leicester aiming for a fourth win from their opening 5 fixtures. Villa head to this game seeking to maintain their perfect start, having thrashed champions Liverpool 7-2 in their last outing. Kickoff is next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, texts, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Haven't we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from talksport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Leicester City against Aston Villa from the King Power Stadium. I'm your host Tom Rennie. Alongside me is the former West Ham, Crystal Palace and Wales international defender Daniel Gavidon. This is Premier League Live, and the Foxes, the home side this evening, could win 4 of their opening 5 matches for the first time in a top-flight season. Though their defeat to West Ham last time out was as humbling as it was surprising, manager Brendan Rodgers is hoping that it will be just a blip, though too many of those cost them Champions League football last season, which for much of the year looked assured. Aston Villa, they are vying to start a season with 4 successive league wins for the first time since 1930 and continue to ride high after their sensational stuffing of Liverpool. They haven't won 4 Premier League fixtures in a row since 2009. If they manage that today, there'd already be some way to proving to many they won't be in a relegation battle this season, as they have been for their last 6 Premier League campaigns. Let's get to the team news, starting with Leicester City. Big news for them is that no Jamie Vardy in the matchday squad today. Kelechi Iheanacho starts up front. Soyuncu is injured, so Wesley Fofana comes in for debut. Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Back 4, James Justin, Wesley Fofana, Johnny Evans, who is fit, and Timothy Castagne. Both of those last 2 were doubts for this one, but are fit enough to start. Tielemans in the centre midfield with Name Palace Mendy and Dennis Pratt. Ayoze, Perez and Harvey Barnes supporting Iheanacho up front. On the bench, Danny Ward, Wes Morgan, James Maddison, Michael Brighton, Cengiz Under, Hamza Choudhury and Islam Slimani. For Aston Villa, same side that beat Liverpool. Emiliano Martinez in goal, back four of Matt Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings and Matt Targett. Midfield, Douglas Luiz, John McGinn and Ross Barkley, Jack Grealish and Trezeguet supporting the man who scored the hat-trick at Villa Park, Ollie Watkins. On the bench, Jed Steer, Bjorn Engels, Ahmed El Mohammadi, Conor Horahan, Marvelous Nakamba, the Zimbabwean, Anwar El Ghazi and Bertrand Traore, another of the summer signings, former teammate of John Terry from his time at Chelsea. We are nearly set to get underway here at the King Power Stadium. It is, of course, a derby in the Midlands and a massive game for the supporters who sadly cannot be here. We are still without supporters in the Premier League and we do hope to get them back soon, but doesn't look likely at the moment. Danny Gavin is with me for this one. Gabs, what kind of game are we expecting here?
Well, I think it's going to be a competitive one. As we said, both teams have started the season ever so well. I think when you come off the back of an international kind of break as well, Tom, you're never quite sure how your team's going to perform as a manager. Players have been away. Players maybe have had a couple of days rest who've not been with their international kind of nations and stuff, so you don't get a lot of time when players come back to do anything on the training ground. You're kind of rolling straight into the next kind of Premier League game, so you're not exactly sure how your team's going to perform. You just kind of hope that performance and that intensity in the performance is going to be there. So I think this is going to be a tight game. Hopefully two teams who will look to attack, look to get forward and create chances. Hopefully we'll see as many goals that we've just seen in the previous games today. I love the fact they've kept the pumping rave music going even though there are no fans here. It's like when you turn up at a club at 6:30. You know what I mean? Like, they've got to create some atmosphere somehow. Turn it down, lads. Yeah, it's not necessary. No one's here. All right. The music has now stopped and all the players take a knee, as happens before every Premier League game. The Premier League is supporting the No Room for Racism campaign this season. All the preamble is now done. The bizarre rave is finished and we can now get back to Premier League football, where the goals continue to hammer in all over the country right now. Already 1-1, 1-1 and 3-3 in the games today, following the raft of goals we had on Saturday as well. Aston Villa have kicked us off. They kick from right to left as we look in this first half. Claret shirts with blue sleeves, white shorts and blue socks. Leicester the other way, left to right as we are looking, wearing their home strip of royal blue shirts, shorts and socks with white numbering and trim. An early free kick here for Leicester City, just over the halfway line, left of centre, 40 seconds in. Tottenham were already 1-0 up at this point, I think, in our previous game. Didn't work out for them, but you never know. Johnny Evans will just clip this free kick out to the left-hand side and Harvey Barnes knocks it straight into touch. Not a great start so far, not as good as the last game.
Yeah, they scored too early, Tottenham, I think. Scored too early, it cost them. But look, I think, as we mentioned, I think Brendan Rodgers will be looking for a reaction from his team. An uncharacteristic performance here against West Ham just before the international break, and I think for the standards that they kind of set themselves, that really wasn't good enough. And I think when Leicester are at their best, certainly kind of the first half of last season, is when they were playing with that intensity, when they were pressing from the front, getting their attacking players on the ball in those higher areas of the pitch. I'm sure that's what Brendan Rodgers will be looking for from his team this evening.
Nice early touch of the ball there for Wesley Fofana, the 19-year-old brought in during the summer transfer window for Leicester City. Gets up and wins the ball off Watkins and finds a smart pass back towards his own goalkeeper as well. That's what you want on Premier League debut, playing against one of the form sides in the league and one of the form strikers too in Watkins. At the other end, Barnes turns away from two, left of centre, looks crossfield to Ayoze Perez, who's picked it up, edge of the area, overlapping run being made by Castagne, crosses far too heavy towards the other side of the field there. Dennis Pratt was coming in, but it was looped up too high, cleared away by Villa, picked up by Mendy on the halfway line, and Leicester City can come forward again.
I think you're going to see a lot of that this evening. Timothy Castagne overlapping, getting forward every single opportunity. I think he's been an excellent signing. You look at Ricardo Pereira and how much Leicester missed him, still out with that ACL injury. I think he's been an excellent signing, Castagne, and a player
player in a similar mode, loves to get forward, loves to get on the overlap, and we've already seen a couple of assists from him from that full-back area, so that's something that Villa really have to watch tonight. Jack Grealish might have to do a lot more defensive work this evening than what he's used to, tracking him back.
Nice turn by Ayoze Perez for Leicester away from McGinn. Looks to slip in Iheanacho down the right-hand side in the penalty area. Ball was maybe just bobbling off the surface, so Iheanacho couldn't get on the end of it. Mings stepped across, was clipped by the Nigerian international forward, and that's going to be a free kick to Villa in their own penalty area.
You read the situation really well there, Tyrone Mings. Just overhit, really. The through ball just allowed Mings to come across and deal with the situation. Just a little bit too overzealous there. Iheanacho, really impressed with that centre-back partnership that's developing there. Aston Villa with Tyrone Mings and Ezri Konsa, who's developing all the time, getting better with every single game.
3.5 minutes gone, early stages here in this derby between Leicester City and Aston Villa. It is still goalless. Leicester unbeaten in their last 5 meetings between these two teams in league football. Had previously won 2 of their 12 in this division before that, but there has been a bit of a changing of the guard in this part of the world since the late 90s, early noughties, where Villa were Premier League stalwarts and Leicester were a yo-yo club. Leicester have since gone on to win the Premier League, famously, of course, whilst Villa were relegated and spent years before that just circling the plug hole of the Premier League before going down. Villa hoping to get back on top of that perch again as they win a free kick here to Leicester. High challenge on Fofana, sees the teenager go down. Welcome to the Premier League, young man.
Certainly was. Ollie Watkins, as that ball got played forward, just leading with the elbow, just letting him know early doors that he's going to be involved in a competitive game of football.
That's what we expect from this one. That's what we've got all season long in the Premier League. Unexpected results and score lines. Home advantage not what it once was.
The league's gone crazy, Tom. Absolutely crazy. Goals flying in left, right and centre. A real lack of defending from most teams.
I can't be the only person who never wants fans to come back. Honestly, it's been so good. That's just a joke, by the way, as Barkley looks to dribble through a couple of players there and is challenged firmly by Tielemans. Ricochets off the on-loan Chelsea man through to Kasper Schmeichel in goal for Leicester. On the right-hand side for the Foxes, Castagne. Summer signing into Mendy, playing for Wilfred Ndidi, who is injured. They started this season in the centre of defence in Ndidi before picking up a knock. Still a few weeks out for him. It's a massive loss to lose Ndidi. Abductor issue, talking about mid-December for him. There's Kasper Schmeichel here. What a performance from him during the international break at Wembley. Made some fantastic saves when we saw him last here in this country as Iheanacho turns forward, runs at Mings into Barnes. Barnes looks to help it on out left to Justin, intercepted by the retreating Villa defence. Trezeguet with the final challenge in, retreating from the right wing role and clears away for the Villains.
Leicester just causing Aston Villa 1 or 2 problems with the 2 wide men kind of rolling inside and then 2 full backs on the gallop on the overlap, and this time Harvey Barnes just picking the ball up in a pocket of space and just looking to feed James Justin.
Ayoze Perez winding up from distance here, right of centre, low shot, easily saved by Emiliano Martinez down to his right. Gabs, yesterday I was doing a game with Chris Perry, the Arsenal game, who was saying to me he thought that they should have let Bernd Leno go to Aston Villa and kept Martinez. He feels he's the better of those 2 players.
I tend to agree. I couldn't believe it, in fact, Tom. I couldn't believe it when I saw that he was getting sold to Aston Villa, because I thought back end of last season when he came in, he did not put a foot wrong, and I look at Bernd Leno and, you know, I have to say I'm still not fully convinced by him. You know, I think Martinez all round is a very, very good goalkeeper, so really surprised to see Arsenal let him go.
Such a big issue for Villa, wasn't it, last season, the goalkeeping role. Neelan throwing that one in his net against Sheffield United. Pepe Reina in this game, actually, which was Leicester's final one before the lockdown began in March. Howler of a game in a 4-0 victory for Leicester that day. Tom Heaton, long-term injury. They may well have found the right solution now. Aston Villa in goal. He's 28 as well, Martinez. I feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah, just not really played much, as he's always been playing second or third fiddle, but took us opportunities, I said last season, ever so well. He didn't put a foot wrong. Looked a really impressive goalkeeper.
and just really surprised Arsenal letting go. It was almost as if Leno had a clause in his contract or something that he had to play. It seemed that way. It's a good move for him, Aston Villa.
Cross here for Villa. Oh, that's a cross that went into Tielemans from target. It was a low cross that was easily dealt with. Tielemans just moved his arm towards that ball there for a second, from what I could see. It would appear the ball hit his chest and he got away with it, but certainly momentary palpitations for any Leicester fan watching that one. Would have been an even softer penalty than the one that was given at Selhurst Park earlier today, which I'm still not 100% sure why that was a penalty, to be honest. Well, indeed, I don't know why England conceded a penalty the other night as well. Was it against Denmark? I still don't know.
Absolutely nothing in that one.
Anyway, let's not draw up controversies when we don't need to. They will come, and we'll debate them at the time. 8.5 minutes gone here. Fofana with a loose touch, nearly allowing Barker to steal on the edge of his own penalty area. Just got away with that one, the young man. Last thing he will is to give away a sloppy goal as it's cleared down the line by Justin. A bit of panic there from the Leicester defence. Turned forward again by Villa, by Konsa. On to Watkins, who looks to flick it on to Trezeguet. Challenged by Johnny Evans, who's got a big role to play tonight as the experienced man at the back.
Yeah, he certainly has, guiding that youngster, Wesley Fofana, through the game. And we saw in the first couple of minutes, the ball was played forward. Ollie Watkins just really does pulling on to Fofana and just seeing what he's capable of doing. Just leaving a little one on him as well.
Johnny Evans' 300th career appearance in the Premier League this evening, so a big night for him as Leicester come forward here. Cross towards the back stick, right to left. Justin got forward, cleared away by Villa. Pratt picks it up. Lovely turn to get away from Trezeguet. Looks for the 1-2. Trezeguet recovers, clears it down the line. Recovered by Tielemans. Justin forward, blocked in the right back area for Aston Villa by Matt Cash. And Trezeguet can bring Villa upfield. Midway inside his own half on the right hand side. Goes back to the former Nottingham Forest man Cash, brought in during the summer. Part of an overhaul of this Villa squad, who survived on the final day of the season with that draw at London Stadium. Goal from Jack Grealish. All but secured their safety there.
I think he's been another good signing, Matty Cash, as well. Tom, been impressed with him. Had a really good season last season at Nottingham Forest, and he's full of energy. He's athletic, he's quick. We haven't probably seen as much as him going forward in the Premier League as what we saw him doing in the Championship for Forest, but he's fitted in there really, really well. Adapted to Premier League life really well.
Grealish dispossessed on the halfway line. In his frustration has then brought down Castagne, the Villa captain, and that's going to be a free kick that goes Leicester's way, right of centre, just over the halfway line. 10 minutes gone here on Premier League Live. Leicester 0, Aston Villa 0. Tom Rennie and Danny Gabardon with you. Not exactly a thriller thus far, but lots of football still to be played and plenty on the line for these two teams as well. Villa looking to continue the only 100% record left in English football, and there's a ball over the top here towards Iheanacho for Leicester, which for a second looked to get Iheanacho in. Martinez read it well and cleared it. He may well be offside, Iheanacho, but of course these days they don't put the flag up until the play is finished, because that's the FIFA regulation. We didn't have that last season in the Premier League. Martinez has gone down injured as well.
It's really tight. The ball's played over the top. Iheanacho just gets himself in between the two Villa centre-backs. I have to say, fantastic starting position from Martinez. Clears the ball and just gets clipped by Iheanacho.
Everyone seems all right. Iheanacho starting up front tonight in place of the injured Jamie Vardy. 6 goals and 2 assists in his last 6 games against Aston Villa. Scored 3 goals in his last 4 against the Villains. So if he is going to play against anyone, this is statistically the right opponent for him, as that's a poor ball from Douglas Luiz, giving it straight to Ayoze Perez here, who can run towards the penalty area, cuts inside. John McGinn with a retreating challenge, the Scotland international, as Ayoze Perez looked to chop in field and pull the trigger. Sluggish start from both teams.
Yeah, brilliant from John McGinn, getting his midfield partner there out of trouble. It was a poor ball from Douglas Luiz straight to Ayoze Perez, and they're on the counter-attack, but great recovery run from John McGinn and a really important interception. And as you say, they haven't really got their passing game going yet, Aston Villa. It's been all Leicester, particularly in the wide areas. Leicester looked really dangerous with the full-backs overlapping. Villa just starting the game really sluggish.
26 years of age today. John McGinn celebrating his birthday. Played some good games for Scotland during the international break. Thrilling victory against the Czech Republic for Steve Clarke's side, of which McGinn was a crucial component. A poor touch there by Tyrone Mings allows Leicester to break away, but the ball in behind towards Iheanacho was maybe just a touch short, and Mings was able to retreat and put a cover challenge in. Doesn't quite have the explosive pace of Jamie Vardy, Kelechi Iheanacho, but then who does? A strong challenge by McGinn. Loose ball there between he and Castagne, and it was won by the tenacious Scotsman.
Initially a poor touch to set Leicester on a counter-attack from Tyrone Mings, but showed good recovery pace to get back in as that ball was played in behind into Iheanacho. Good composure then on his own byline then to just nip away from him, and then just played a hospital pass into Jack Grealish, which he was never going to do anything with because Castagne was touch tight to him, and 2 or 3 really aggressive tackles then after that. It's been a combative start by both teams.
Here's Ross Barkley back towards Mings. Another poor touch from him. Iheanacho chasing him down. Mings looked to wallop it upfield after the error. Hits the Nigerian on the leg, and that's a throw into Aston Villa in the left back area. 14 minutes gone, it remains 0-0. Should say at TalkSport Live is the place to get in touch with me and Gab. Should you want to let us know where in the world you are listening, your thoughts on this game, your thoughts on any of the games that have happened today. There really have been some incredible scorelines across the Premier League this weekend. Great to have it back, great to have the international break over, and we're expecting plenty from this game, though the early exchanges have been a touch disappointing. 2 of the form teams at the start of this season. Will expectations be raised of Aston Villa because of the way they thrashed Liverpool?
Well, I think expectations will be raised just the way they start the season as a whole. I don't think anybody obviously saw that result coming, but Villa were absolutely outstanding, and that would have given the team, a lot of confidence. But I did mention just before kick-off about the first game back after international duty, and it can be difficult at times for the players. You can feel a bit sluggish and take a little bit of time to get going. Leicester haven't really looked that way. They've been on the front foot and looking sharp, but Villa have been the complete opposite.
Free kick here for Aston Villa, trying to play out from the back. That Conser was caught, and Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper, can blast one upfield towards Ollie Watkins, who's pulled out to the right hand side. One by Evans, second ball one by Trezeguet, flicked off Justin. Aston Villa throw over on the far side. 15 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Cash to take it, short into Barkley, back to Cash again, right footed cross, away by Fofana, up in the air by Ayoze Perez on the edge of his own penalty area. Tielemans wins the second ball. Iheanacho does well to bring the ball down third. Leicester retake possession. Castagne back to Schmeichel. Watkins was sniffing around. Was the right ball, just about got away with it. Doesn't matter how close it is, as long as you get it right, and he did.
They just have to be careful with that, Leicester, because what Barkley's doing, he's just releasing himself from that midfield position, and it's almost like a 4-4-2 at times when they're pressing. Ross Barkley will actually go and press one of the centre-backs alongside Ollie Watkins, so just have to be careful as a centre-back, thinking that you've got more time than you actually have at times, and before you know it, Ross Barkley's nipping in and he's pressing.
Oh, a lovely ball here by Castagne, right to left, finds the ball to Harvey Barnes, low cross comes in, and in fact James Justin has clattered into McGinn in the area after Villa won it back. Another really sharp breakaway from Leicester City coming through Castagne, who is essentially the right back this evening, versatile player. And it was Dennis Pratt's ball towards Barnes that was intercepted.
He loves to get forward, Castagne. It was a cross-field ball to him. He played a little give and go. The ball actually got switched to the left-hand side, and he's actually just continued his run and almost got on the end of the pullback down the right-hand side of Villa's 18-yard box. So you see the freedom and the licence that he's given by Brendan Rodgers to get forward, and they're causing Villa a lot of problems in the wide areas, just trying to overload and create those 2v1 situations.
Quite interesting as this ball goes into touch that James Maddison is up and having a deep and meaningful conversation with Brendan Rodgers pitch side. And they have lacked a bit for creativity as Iheanacho flicks onto Ayoze Perez here, who's goal side of the Villa defence. Look, well offside. I mean, that wasn't even close. There was no reason to see that play out.
No, that's annoying. It really annoys me, that rule. That was so far offside. Just put the flag up. It was so obvious to everyone. But you mentioned Maddison there, Tom, and just looked like maybe he was going to come on. I don't know if there's a knock. Maybe one of the Leicester players has got a knock. He looked like he was giving him some instructions about maybe what he wanted him to do, but he's gone back up to the middle of the stand there and sat back down. So
it was very odd, wasn't it? It was a real long conversation. I mean, he has struggled with a calf injury in recent times, but if he's fit enough for the bench, I always think they're fit enough to play.
Yeah. I have to agree with you with that statement there. If you can sit on the bench, and surely you can start the game.
Because you might need to come on in the second minute. You don't know, do you?
No,
You've got to be able to come on.
Yeah.
Fofana, under some pressure, he's found a good pass forward to Pratt. Luis has dispossessed him, and Villa can come forward. Here's Jack Grealish, midway inside Leicester territory. Carries it out right, back to Douglas Luis. On towards Trezeguet, out of his body, right-footed cross, good delivery. Away by Fofana, recovered by Grealish. Volleys infield to McGinn. Centre of the pitch, nice chip out right to Trezeguet, who's got forward again. Here's Grealish. Oh, that's a swiping, silly challenge there from Dennis Pratt over on that far side. That should be a yellow card there for Dennis Pratt. I'm not sure it's going to be, but it probably should have been.
Yeah, just swipe through him. Doesn't take much to put Jack Grealish down anyway, and he's clever actually, because he just steps his left foot across prior as he's coming in to make the challenge and just draws the foul. He's so clever, that Jack Grealish, at drawing fouls for his team, and you just can't do that. You know, he's going nowhere really. Just hold him up, send him back, make him play the ball back. He's just over keen really to try and win the ball. He was never going to do that.
Grealish famously won more fouls than any other player in the Premier League last season, the most of any player in one season since records began in 2003, the first year that Opta were covering this league. Showing just why that stat was so high there. And he'll take this free kick on the right hand side. Deep ball comes in, it's towards the back post, but Kasper Schmeichel, decked out all in black, will pluck that ball from the sky with relative ease, and he'll look upfield towards Ayoze Perez, who's goal side of McGinn. He's done really well there, Perez, to get Leicester moving. Short ball into midfield for Leicester City. Into Mendy, back to Ayoze Perez. Behind him down the sideline is Castagne. Back on the halfway is the young man Fofana. He'll look square, in fact just behind him to Johnny Evans, then left to Justin. Just the one clean sheet this season for Leicester against West Bromwich Albion. Defensively have looked somewhat frail, though goals have been free-flowing for them.
I don't think many teams have got clean sheets this season, to be honest with you, Tom.
No.
Not many, is there?
It's not really something you can lord over your opponents this season. A great defensive display. I'm not sure I've seen one, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
I think if we're expecting fans to pay £15 for a pay-per-view game, the least they can expect is goals, no?
This is pay-per-view here in the UK. Of course, available through our partners on Premier League Live, as Leicester are in the area here. Ball towards Castagne. His shot has been blocked by Emiliano Martinez, but just before that there was a collision off the ball in the penalty area, and there's some Leicester players here saying they should have a penalty.
I'm not too sure by that. Iheanacho possibly offside. Issues that ball's played into him. I think it's Matty Cash who just tangles. I think it's with Harvey Barnes. I don't think there's anything in that. It's not intentional. They just clip each other's heels, but Castagne's in again. He's in acres of space again, and Jack Grealish is not tracking his man. That is going to be a problem for Aston Villa if they allow that to continue.
Star performer Castagne in that Atalanta side, so loved by so many out in Italy at the moment. Of course, Champions League side, as Leicester should have been last season before they spursed it up towards the end. Corner's gone all the way back towards the halfway line. Justin chips it right to Tielemans. Villa press out. Corner routine didn't come off, I think that's fair to say. Lovely touch by Grealish to get away from Castagne when he's in the Leicester half here and he wants a pass. He pokes it right to Douglas Luiz in the area, right hand side, crosses in, away by Justin for Leicester. Recovered by McGinn, chips it forward, good run Trezeguet. Oh, he just couldn't get the volley on that one, Trezeguet. He ran diagonal left to right. McGinn clipped it to him, but just couldn't make it work.
Yeah, the ball was just a little bit too straight. The diagonal run from Trezeguet in behind Justin, but it was a difficult ball for McGinn to pull off. But initially, really good play by Jack Grealish to skip around Castagne and just set that kind of counter-attack off. The first time, really, we've seen him in the attacking third, really, controlling things. He's been fairly quiet up until now.
Chip upfield from Leicester, rather aimless, recovered by Cash of Villa, the right back. Onto Mings on the penalty area, who clips it up towards Grealish, who wants a foul. Of course he does. Doesn't get one this time, and Leicester go up the other end. Iheanacho chops in field, shoots a goal. It's a good effort by Iheanacho. It's on target. Stings the gloves of Martinez, who's able to make the save and then hold on.
Jack Grealish wanted the foul. He's slow to get up and not helping his team there at all. Iheanacho picks the ball up in a pocket of space on Perez. He's able to turn. He's just looking to bend the ball to Martinez's right post there. Just a little bit too central.
Strong challenge from Fofana on Watkins, returning the favour from earlier. No foul given that time. It's going to be a throw in on this near side to Aston Villa.
Well, Villa are going to have to suss this out, particularly on this wide right here, causing a lot of problems. Leicester players getting in pockets of space, Castagne overloaded, and Jack Grealish a reluctance to track back. So I think John McGinn at times is going to have to come across from that central midfield position, release himself, and actually he's going to have to help the fullback. He's going to have to help Matt Targett, because at the minute it's 2v1, it's 3v1, 3v2. Most of it's down to Jack Grealish not tracking back and helping his fullback.
25 minutes played here. Leicester 0, Aston Villa 0. We are back with you tomorrow. 2 games on Monday Night Football. West Brom against Burnley. Kick-off at 5:30 local time, BST, UK time, followed by Leeds United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Should be a real cracker to round off our Premier League weekend. Of course, at the moment, as we've mentioned, heavily discussed, no fans in grounds at the moment, and so unique time slots for all games. Well, from our perspective, a Premier League Live perspective, it is pretty great, to be fair. Of course we want the fans back, but 10 slots to really focus on all the games has been fantastic for me, and I love sitting on my sofa or driving in the car, listening or watching to the games. I'm into it. I'm there for it. I don't talk to the wife. Here's McGinn, just inside his own half. Left-footed cross-field ball will find Targett running forward. Lovely ball from him. Good control Targett. He'll find Grealish. Cuts it back. Oh, it's a lovely effort there from Trezeguet, who's gone down. He wants a penalty here, saying he was caught as he went to get the shot away.
VAR might have a look at this one. I'm sure they will. Lovely play by Aston Villa, starting with John McGinn. The cross-field ball to Matt Targett on the overlap. Little ball inside to Grealish. Just faces up for Fofana and pulls the ball back into a really good area. Trezeguet coming in, James Justin with the challenge. For me, I don't think he gets anything on the ball. Does catch Trezeguet, but
the ball's long gone, isn't it?
I don't think there'll be enough in that for me. Not enough in that.
If there was no red card for Jordan Pickford yesterday, there can't be a penalty for that. When the game's dead, the game's dead, isn't it?
Very good point.
Just on that, for those that missed the story earlier on, Liverpool fans will want to know, as Premier League fans will, Virgil van Dijk will have surgery on his injured ACL and will face a lengthy time out, period of months rather than weeks. We'll talk a bit more about that later on, I'm sure. We'll hear from Jurgen Klopp, who was surprised Pickford wasn't given a card yesterday. And maybe surprised his team weren't given a penalty as well for that challenge. Collision here between Iheanacho and Konsa on the halfway line. I think a free kick has been given the way of Aston Villa for a swinging elbow from Iheanacho.
Yeah, both contesting the aerial ball, and a little bit similar to what Ollie Watkins did to young Wesley Fofana, just jumping across, leading with the arm, just catching Ezri Konsa just on the side of the face there.
"27 minutes gone, it's 0-0. No further punishment for Iheanacho. Maybe a little warning from John Moss, who's our referee. As, that wasn't the cleanest of challenges. The kind of thing I've seen Andy Carroll get booked for 400 times in my life. Though, funnily enough, when he did it for Newcastle against West Ham at the start of this season, didn't get anything. Probably going to have been sent off anyway. Here's Martinez in his own penalty area. Comfortable with the ball at feet, all in green. Away to our right, the Villa goalkeeper. Mings gives the ball away again for Aston Villa. His distribution's been very poor tonight. Here's Harvey Barnes for Leicester. Caught late by Grealish, finds a release to Castagne on the right. Mendy into Barnes, bit of space, turns forward, pokes it through. Challenge Mings, recovered Tielemans for Leicester. Mendy's pass is poor, intercepted by Cash. Recovered on the halfway line by Fofana for Leicester City on debut. And the Foxes can look to build again in the centre circle with Yuri Tielemans on the ball. Ayoze Perez turns forward, picks the ball up and finds Iheanacho. Castagne pokes it down the line to himself. Lovely touch, good cross to it. It's a deep one. It's over Barnes, nearly found Justin away by Trezeguet. Recovered by James Justin, second bounce. Robbed by Castagne, but Tielemans nicks it again, and Trezeguet chases that down to stop the clip forward. Hard working showing from him tonight.
Looks really comfortable in possession of the ball, Wesley Fofana. Just looking at him on debut, hasn't really been tested with a ball in behind or aerially, but looks very comfortable on the ball.
Was a runner-up in the French Cup with St Etienne last season. Started the final against Paris Saint-Germain. Under 21 international with the French national side. Played last week against Slovakia and Liechtenstein. I just did all that so I could say Liechtenstein because I enjoy it so much. Certainly a very talented young player. Hasn't quite had the baptism of fire that maybe we were expecting here.
Not yet. Got a little taste of Ollie Watkins' elbow, but I have to say Leicester have been in control of the game possession-wise, so hasn't had to do too much defensively as of yet.
High ball towards Watkins, won well by Johnny Evans. Leicester can look to break away again. Lovely interplay there between Ayoze Perez and Iheanacho. Out to Barnes, tripped by John McGinn. Free kick to Leicester. Very combative performance, very combative side, aren't they, Aston Villa?
Yeah, they are, especially John McGinn. He's having to get through a lot of work because Leicester obviously attacking very well, but Aston Villa being quite sloppy in possession, so he's having to do a lot of running back and getting into those wide areas and looking to win the ball. What was that?
James Justin is just, sorry to interrupt your point, but James Justin has just clipped the ball down the line to nowhere. Maybe Harvey Barnes told him he was going to run into that space and didn't. And that rather tells the story of this game so far. A promising position for Leicester, which comes to nothing. And it's a bit like the West Ham game in a way, isn't it? Because Leicester are seeing plenty of the ball, but are not looking threatening.
No, I wouldn't say there's been a clear-cut chance for them, has there? They've got into some really good areas inside of Aston Villa's 8-yard box. It's just been that kind of final cross, the final pass that's been lacking. You do feel a goal is coming.
Villa have it with Jack Grealish midway inside Leicester territory on the left sideline, being forced back towards the halfway by Ayoze Perez. He's still got it here. Grealish, turn of pace, and then hacked down by Ayoze, and that's going to be a yellow card for the Leicester man. And maybe a touch frustrated considering he did so well to force Grealish to the halfway and then got done by a little switch up of pace.
Brilliant from Jack Grealish. He does that ever so well, carries the ball, holds onto the ball so well. He's so strong in possession, and he just sucks you in, he just entices you in, and then uses his body strength to roll you, or if you get too tight and too physical, he goes down and wins a foul. And brilliant possession of the football.
Free kick is left of centre, about 10 yards over the halfway line. That target is over it for Villa. 32nd minute, score is 0-0. Cleared away from the head of Fofana, recovered by McGinn, robbed by Barnes, good play by Harvey Barnes, tripped over by McGinn as he looked to counter. The referee tried to get them to play on, unable to do so, and has now booked John McGinn for what I think is his 700th foul in this game, so not before time, really.
Yeah, culmination of fouls, really, and his first touch was poor. Harvey Barnes does really well to step in, and he's away trying to launch a counter-attack, and it's probably a clever foul for McGinn in the end.
Well, he is booked, as is Ayoze Perez for Leicester, as this Midlands derby just struggles to come to life at the moment. No, not for the want of competitiveness from the two sets of players. We are just looking for a moment of class from the attacking talent out there, of which there is much, but no Jamie Vardy for those just joining us, out with a calf problem. Here's Ross Barkley for Aston Villa, left of centre. Finds a lovely slip pass to Jack Grealish. Shades of their performance against Liverpool there. Barkley and Grealish combined for so much of what was great about Villa that day. A cross by Target is cleared away. Iheanacho here battling on the halfway with Douglas Luiz for a loose ball. Handball given against the Nigerian striker. He thinks it was accidental. And the shoulder, I wonder. Cash down the right channel for Villa. High in the air towards McGinn, won by Johnny Evans. Tielemans picks up the loose ball, left-footed forward into the run of Dennis Pratt. Back heel to Barnes, over the halfway. Pratt wants a return ball left. Here he is now. Good play by Harvey Barnes, turning forward. Right-footed cross towards the back post. Castagne is over. He's not that far over. It's all the way out for a goal kick.
Yeah, and that has been a problem for Leicester. Been very good up until that point. The final third around the opposition's 18-yard box, but the final cross, the final ball, it's just been lacking. But they are causing Villa problems, especially in those pockets of space, because you look at Villa in that midfield area, they're playing like with a 1 and a 2. Douglas Luiz is the one who's sitting in front of the back four, and what Harvey Barnes and Ayoze Perez are doing really well, they're just coming in off the line into those spaces off the side of Douglas Luiz and in behind John McGinn, and they're finding it really difficult to pick them up, and they're getting turned and they're running at that Villa back four, and it caused a lot of problems, but the end product's just not been there.
Chance here for Leicester City. Ball slipped in towards Dennis Pratt. Goal side momentarily of Cash and Konsa. Sliding challenge prevents him getting the shot away. Challenge again by Cash on Justin over on the far side, gets Villa back on the ball again. Barkley being chased down by Mendy, looks crossfield, beautiful ball towards Grealish, who gets there before Castagne, and that's another foul on Jack Grealish, this time the Belgian Castagne with the late clip.
He's looking to get tight to Jack Grealish every opportunity. You can understand why, because he's such a dangerous player if you give him space, but some of the greatest of balls into Jack Grealish, he would have found it difficult to control and bring that ball down, even if he didn't have the pressure of Castagne behind him, but doesn't want to give him any space. Every time the ball comes into him, he's looking to get touch tight.
35 minutes gone here. Leicester 0, Aston Villa 0 on Premier League Live. Free kick is just inside their own half for Aston Villa. No yellow card for Castagne. And you can see why Grealish gets frustrated, because he does try and win fouls, of course, getting his body in the way, like Jamie Vardy used to do when they won the Premier League, always got his body in the way to win things. Andrew Johnson we always bring up for that sort of thing as well for Palace, but eventually Castagne, he should get booked for that challenge, shouldn't he?
Well, I think he's lucky. He's trying to be aggressive with him every opportunity, and if he can leave one or two strong challenges on him without getting a yellow card, that's probably part of the plan as well. But he is a frustrating player to play against, Jack Grealish, because he does use his body well, and he does hog the ball. He'll have 3, 4, 5 touches and almost entice the opposition onto him. He's so difficult to get the ball off. He can really frustrate you, and you end up kind of giving fouls away against him.
Scrappy, bitty so far in this derby between Leicester and Aston Villa. Good play by Grealish and Barkley again, getting the villains forward. Trezeguet on the right hand side of the area, crosses block, comes off Justin. Cash shields the ball out for a corner to Aston Villa on the right hand side.
Yeah, better play from Aston Villa, and this time doing to Leicester what Leicester have been doing to them. Grealish picking the ball up in a pocket of space, the ball gets fed wide. Matty Cash then on the overlap around Trezeguet, chooses to ignore him, looking to deliver decent cross into the box. Justin did well to get a block on the attempted cross.
Corner comes in, flicked on by Barkley, walloped away by Barnes. Leicester had left nobody forward, so Cash can pick this up with time and space just inside his own half in front of his manager. Lovely big diagonal, but picked up by Watkins here, left hand side, left footed cross, no one in the area to turn it home. Recovered by Barkley on the right, turns in, turns out, runs towards the end line, can't dig out across, still going back to Grealish, corner of the area. Almost poor that time from Grealish, looks to turn outside, and it was good defending actually from Dennis Pratt over there. For a moment it was on there for Aston Villa, but they just couldn't get the right angle, the right pass, the right gap.
Actually did well, Ollie Watkins, to dig that cross out. Good cross-field ball by Matty Cash, but he's running out of space and just digs the cross out to the far post from the byline. I have to say, after that though, Leicester defend really well. James Justin over there in the corner sticks to his task well, doesn't allow the delivery to come back in, and then Pratt, as you said, gets touch tight to Jack Grealish. He's trying to manoeuvre a bit of space and just nicks in and intercepts the ball and draws the foul.
38 minutes on the clock here on Premier League Live. Goalless between Leicester and Aston Villa. No winners in the Premier League today. Maybe West Ham, I suppose, but just a draw against Tottenham Hotspur, despite the fact they were 3-0 down in the 81st minute. Also 1-1 draw today between Sheffield United and Fulham, and Crystal Palace and Brighton.
Tom, do you think this is going to be an open league this season? Well, it looks that way though, doesn't it? You know, everybody's losing games, conceding goals. I don't think it's going to be what we saw last season, where Liverpool have won the league, you know, by Christmas.
Well, I mean, from a neutral perspective, what I want is whoever wins the league to have lost 8 games. If we get that, then we will have 5 teams in a title race going into the final couple of months, and that's what makes this league, I think, stand out. You know, we don't already know it's going to be Real Madrid or Barcelona, you know, and I think that makes it stand out, whereas, you know, we had that the last couple of years, and it's not for me, you know.
It's not for anyone, Tom. Not for anyone.
Well, it's for Liverpool and Man United, of course, but let's not get back into all that again.
Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, and it was enjoyable watching them win the league, but I'd rather it much more competitive as well, to be honest with you.
A foul here by Matt Cash, who looks to take the shorts of Harvey Barnes. Barnes robbed the ball off him on the halfway line. He got one arm on the right buttock.
It's a rugby tackle, that, Tom. He just tried to rip his shorts off. It's ridiculous. Again, I get really angry when I see that.
That's more of a third date kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yellow card for Matt Cash for that challenge. 40 minutes gone. Leicester free kick left hand side from the deep towards Fofana. It's bouncing around. It's just shoveled away by Cash. Recovered by Pratt, who's now over on this right hand side. He'll find Mendy behind him. Back to Pratt again. Back to Palace Mendy. Castagne, not a great ball from the halfway there to Tielemans, and Villa can regroup here. Tielemans forward, looks to slip in Barnes. Straight to McGinn though. Villa can counter here. Tielemans has caught McGinn late. Referee says play on. Douglas Luiz has runners right and left. Right, it's Trezeguet. 2 in the box to aim for. He's got away from Johnny Evans, who's then brought him down. He overran it, Trezeguet, which made Evans think he could nick it. And what he ended up doing was tripping Trezeguet over, and he becomes the latest player to go in the book here.
Yellow card as well. I think the yellow card was for Tielemans earlier. For trying to halt the counter-attack. Just caught John McGinn as he looked to step in and make a tackle. Good advantage played by Jonathan Moss, but Trezeguet went down slightly easy there. He looked like he'd actually done Johnny Evans with a bit of skill, was coming inside and looking to maybe get a shot off, and just chose almost to go down. His legs just kind of collapsed underneath him. He's drawn the foul.
It was Tielemans. Book's absolutely right, not Johnny Evans. He joins Ayoze Perez in the book for Leicester. Cash and McGinn cautioned for the Villains. Great opportunity this for Aston Villa. It's right of the penalty area, maybe about 8 yards away from the attacking right corner, 4 or 5 away from the edge. A beautiful position for a left footer to find the top corner, and that's a viewpoint agreed with by Matt Targett, who's over this one and will fancy it, I'm sure. Douglas Luiz and Ross Barkley there too, but this has got Targett written all over it. But it's off target from the Villa fullback. Perfect position for a left footer, but it went up and did go down.
Yeah, it was a little bit safe, wasn't it? Never got it up and down. You know, the pace on the effort, nothing wrong with that, but didn't get that dip that you need from that kind of distance to get it up and over the wall.
Kasper Schmeichel with a chip upfield towards the halfway, won by Target, trying to find Grealish. Again, he wants the foul. It's been given against Grealish for a late lunge on Fofana. He was kind of backing into him, wasn't he, Grealish, hoping to be pulled down. And I don't know, eventually you've got to stop playing for free kicks, haven't you? Try and win the ball.
Well, you do have to be careful as a defender with young Wesley Fofana there, looking to step in front of Jack Grealish and win the ball, because as I said, he's so good at using his body, and he's able to roll you, and he's just a little bit too keen there for me. Sometimes you just have to say as a defender, look, I can't win the ball, and you just have to shield your man and show him back. But he actually ended up kind of drawing the foul there, but I wouldn't like to see him doing that too often.
Grealish on the halfway line, this time tries to find a pass and not win a free kick. Pass wasn't very good. Tielemans intercepts. Chip cross field by Castagne, trying to find Barnes. Robbed by the retreating Trezeguet, who flicks the header into touch. Final couple of minutes of the first half here. Not been great entertainment so far for those that have paid box office money for it. Should have made Tottenham West Ham box office. Come on.
No, we should have.
It was obvious.
What are you thinking?
Maybe next time. Throw in by Leicester, trying to release Iheanacho's foul concert. I mean, that's about 7 fouls from him today. He should be booked for persistency of these fouls, Iheanacho, I would say.
No, he's not far away. Half-time whistle can't come quick enough for him. Certainly looking to try and get booked. Another foul given away there on concert.
Enjoyed his night against Aston Villa so far, Iheanacho, as he understudies for Jamie Vardy. By Villa up towards Watkins, but it's straight to Justin in the end. Well, why has this game been like this, Gabs? It isn't what we expected coming into it. Two teams in great form, love to score goals. Nothing's really happened.
No, Villa have been sluggish, had a slow start. They have picked it up. I think they have improved as the half has gone on. I think Leicester, from back to front, have been very good. They've moved the ball quickly, they've played with intensity, they've pressed well.
Mistake here by Mendy, and Villa could be in here. Slips into Watkins, goal-sided Fofana, gets the shot away, blocked by Fofana. Watkins may well have been offside as the ball was slipped into him.
Yeah.
It was good pressure, wasn't it, on Mendy, who was desperate to be fouled by Ross Barkley.
It was actually.
Well, yeah.
Push from Barkley. He's not offside as that ball's played, Ollie Watkins. He's level with Johnny Evans. Fofana does well. To be fair, he gets across, covers his teammate, blocks the attempted shot.
And now it should be a corner to Villa, but
it should be, shouldn't it?
The flag's gone up in error, but it's a goal kick. Or free kick, excuse me. Essentially a goal kick, though, because of where it is. Anyway, where's VAR when you need them? McKinn, big cross field. Before anyone tweets us, I know they don't look at those sorts of things, alright? Don't at me. Here's Grealish, corner of the area. Nice play into Barkley on the edge. Little step over Barkley. Didn't really find the space to get a shot away. Passes the buck to Target. Barkley. Grealish, corner of the area, turns away from Mendy, wants to face up goal. Here he is now. Lovely back heel into Target, goal side of Castagne, cross comes in, too high for Trezeguet, recovered by McGinn, left footed cross, blocked by James Justin. Big chance for Aston Villa, just didn't get the delivery right.
This was just too high. Trezeguet on the full stretch, couldn't direct the header, but what about that from Jack Grealish, the back heel? It just looked like Leicester was set in their shape and there was nowhere for them to go, but he sees the overlapping runner Target, and the back heel to play him in is magical, and just unlucky there. Target just overhitting the dink to the far post.
Throw for Villa, cleared away by Leicester. Another throw to the away side. 2 minutes added on at the end of the 45 here. We're a minute into the first of those.
Well, that's just summed up the first half, really. That cross on that Target there, Tom. There's just been a lack of quality there. Both teams have got into the final third, in and around the 18-yard box of the opposition, but it's just been a lack of quality then on the cross or the finish or the final shot.
Another chance here for Aston Villa to create the opportunity to take the lead. Long throw, Watkins, Target wins the second. Grealish the third on the left-hand side. Low cross comes in, cleared away, forward by Target again. Barkley picks it up, just ahead of Mendy. Back to goal, forced away from goal, turns forward, challenge Mendy. The referee has given a free kick against Barkley here, I think. After a challenge on Mendy as he just overran it.
Yeah, just 2 or 3 Leicester players converging on him, and he just kind of panicked over, hit his touch and just flew into Mendy. They've done that well, Leicester, in the first half. They've pressed well, even when they've been quite out of shape a bit from a cross-field ball. They've got bodies back quickly, and they've been really aggressive in midfield, and Villa have found it difficult in possession of the ball in that area.
And that's half-time here at the King Power Stadium, and it's a chance for the two teams to regroup. We haven't really seen a great deal of either side as an attacking force as yet. Half chance from Iheanacho at one end, a couple of opportunities to get the right crossover Villa which haven't come off. At the break it's 0-0, analysis to follow. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress lost tribespeople of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10 when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive-time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive-time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport. Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from talksport.com. Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder. TalkSport.
Half-time here on Premier League Live. The final game of 4 on this Premier League Sunday comes from the King Power Stadium, where it's Leicester against Aston Villa. Goalless at the break. No Vardy, no Partey. Leicester are in the area here. Ball towards Castagne. His shot has been blocked by Emiliano Martinez, but just before that there was a collision off the ball. Recovered by McGinn, chips it forward. Good run, Trezeguet. Oh, he just couldn't get the volley on that one, Trezeguet. Iheanacho chops in field, shoots a goal. It's a good effort by Iheanacho. It's on target. Good control target. He'll find Grealish, cuts it back. Oh, it's a lovely effort there from Trezeguet, who's gone down. Yeah, not a great deal in the highlights so far. Danny Gabardine has endured this game with me. It hasn't quite hit the heights, though you have suffered through worse 0-0s in recent times, I'm sure. What's going on? Why has it not been as good as we'd hoped?
I think it's just been a lack of quality in the final third. I think Leicester have probably been the better team, started the brighter. I think Villa have warmed to the half as it's gone on, started really sloppy, particularly in the first 10-15 minutes in possession of the football. We've probably seen Timothy Castagne being Leicester's best attacking player from full-back. He's got into some really good areas of the pitch, but as I said, it's just been a lack of quality then with the final pass, the final shot, which has resulted with the 0-0 at half-time. I think Dean Smith will probably be the happier of the two managers because he'll feel that his team can improve, can get better. I think from a Leicester point of view, and Brendan Rodgers, I think he'd be pleased with what they've kind of done in possession, the intensity that they've played with, how they've pressed at times and made it difficult for Aston Villa, particularly in that midfield area. But I think you want a bit more quality, a bit more composure when they get into the final third.
For Leicester, no Jamie Vardy today, out injured amongst a few senior players who are not here today. James Maddison has recovered from injury and is on the bench. He was involved in a quite lengthy chat with Brendan Rodgers during that first half. Creating chances certainly hasn't been something Leicester have done well in this game so far, so he might be the right sort of man to bring on.
Yeah, great addition to have someone to come off the bench and hopefully turn the game with the quality that he has, capable of creating goals, capable of scoring spectacular goals as well. And it just looked like the way that Brendan Rodgers was talking to him, it was almost like he was giving him instructions, almost saying, well, look, when you do come on, this is why I want you to do, this is why I want you to play. So I'm not sure if one of the Leicester players maybe has a knock, or we might see him introduced at half time, I don't know, but it certainly looked like the way they were talking, that at some point he's going to be introduced into this game. And you do feel that he might be the difference for Leicester, because he does, as I said, does have those individual moments of brilliance in him.
We shall see how the second half unfolds shortly. Kick-off is coming in around about 8 minutes from now. Elsewhere today, big results around the Premier League. All draws, but plenty of stories. It finished 1-1 between Sheffield United and Fulham. Crystal Palace won, Brighton won as well. Just before we came on air here, it finished Tottenham Hotspur 3, West Ham United 3. West Ham, the first team in Premier League history to avoid defeat in a game, having been 3-0 down in the 81st minute. Staggering stuff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Let's hear from the two managers, Jose Mourinho, I bet he took it well, and David Moyes. Here they are.
Maybe you ask David how they did it, and you get a happier answer than the one I'm going to give you. And for me, it's much easier to praise their belief than to be critic with us. What happened football?
No, you can see that I can't jump very high anymore, but the COVID's over anyway, that's for sure now. I'll get rid of that, and I've said there, I says it was a bit like a David Pleat moment. I don't know if David will thank me for saying that, but if we don't get excited by scoring a goal in the last minute about football, then it wouldn't look right if I just stood there and didn't celebrate it. But it was a great goal, and thoroughly deserved.
The game was totally under control, and then one letter of free kick brings them to the game, let's say that, and then we must have the personality, the determination to keep it safe until the end. But this goal happens once in a lifetime, in the last second, incredible shot. That's football.
What a goal! What a moment to do it. And by the way, nothing more than we deserved. Played really well tonight. Kept going when we were 3 down. We kept playing, trying to find a way in, and didn't look as if it was going to come. But I was actually quite pleased with the players at how well we had defended, and limited Tottenham to opportunities in the second half.
Yeah, first 20 minutes was a real blitz from Tottenham Hotspur. They were 3-0 up in 18 minutes. Gabs, what do you make of the Moyes' comments there? Well, firstly, it was great to say I'm over the COVID and I've gone for a nice run to celebrate. I enjoyed that immensely. But also that his team played well. Did they play well?
I thought they played well going forward. They have done in the last 3 or 4 games. I always thought that West Ham were a threat, even at 0-0, even in that first half, where Tottenham got off to a fantastic start. I always thought going forward There was still a bit of a vulnerability about Tottenham, but certainly second half they did improve. But you have to say first half, David Moyes was outclassed tactically. Jose Mourinho, what he did with his team, with Harry Kane kind of dropping in as that number 10 and overloading that kind of West Ham midfield, they really didn't have no answer to that. And you know, at 3-0, you think the game is over really with the quality that Tottenham have. But I think I do agree with David Moyes that they kept going. They kept their heads up. It would have been easy for heads to drop at half time and think the game was done. They kept plugging away. I thought they were the better team second half. They showed more fight, more intensity, kept going, trying to get it back into the game. And you get one, and you start believing, and suddenly there's a little bit of nervousness about Tottenham. The second one goes in, and then what a strike by Manuel Lanzini. You have to give credit to the manager as well for making the changes, changing things around tactically, and they've come away with a draw, and it would have felt like a win.
There was a great tweet from a Tottenham fan at 3-0 when they said, look at the difference between these two squads. We bring on Gareth Bale and they bring on Manuel Lanzini.
That's aged well.
Yes, and I think the guy has got back and said, damn, this is going to go viral, I think. But a quick final question on Gareth Bale. Look, it's been a long, long time since he played any football at all. Of course, 7 years since he played a game for Tottenham Hotspur. And, I'm sure he'll go on to do good things this season for Spurs, but he should have wrapped it up with a fourth late on.
Well, he should have, and, fit and firing informed Gareth Bale, sticks that away. He is a fantastic finisher, but, he's not there yet. He's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get up to speed. Is he the Gareth Bale of Tottenham first time around? No, I don't think he is. He's not quite that player. So expectation levels are huge. Him coming back to the football club, but he might not be the main man for them this season. You look at Son, you look at the performance of Harry Kane today, absolutely outstanding. So I don't think Tottenham fans should get too carried away, and that's coming from a Welshman who loves Gareth Bale. He's going to take a little bit of time to get up and running, but I'm sure, and I hope that he will be a productive player for Tottenham this season.
Yeah, and if he wants some hope for coming back from the dead, look no further than Manuel Lanzini, who looked like he may well not be able to play at the top level ever again. He's just scored one of the most sensational goals you're going to see in any Premier League match this season. We could do with some of that magic in our late game, couldn't we, between Leicester and Aston Villa at half-time. It is goalless between these two Midlands rivals. Second half follows this. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, texts, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10 when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend and angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, who hands up who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4 only on TalkSport. Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Leicester City against Aston Villa from the King Power Stadium, 0-0 at half-time. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former West Ham United, Crystal Palace, and Wales international defender Daniel Gabidon. This is Premier League Live. Leicester City's players have just joined us on the field. We are waiting for Aston Villa's 11 to join them. We can see James Maddison up in the stands. He's been out for a few minutes or so, the Leicester City player. In the first half he had full tracksuit on, big coat. Now we can see his club socks and shorts, so we are wondering whether he might be coming on. We've not seen a fourth official's board as yet to confirm one way or the other. But whatever happens here, Gabs, we would expect to see James Maddison at some point unless Leicester's performance improves dramatically and fast.
Yeah, he'll definitely be on in the second half. Just looked like he was getting the shin pads on, getting the tape on, so I think he's going to be imminent, his introduction into this game. And they have really missed him in that first half with the creativity and the composure that he has around that 18-yard box. I don't think Brendan Rodgers will be too disappointed with that first half performance. I think he'll just want to, as I say, a bit more composure, a bit more quality when they get into that final third. And as we said, James Maddison is a player that can provide that.
Not coming on right now, though, as we were saying, looks ready and raring when called upon now, James Maddison. So no changes for either of these two teams at the break. Kasper Schmeichel is Leicester's goalkeeper and captain. Back forward, James Justin. Wesley Fofana on debut. Johnny Evans playing today at the heart of defence in his 300th Premier League career appearance. Timothy Castagne at right back. Midfield, Yuri Tielemans, named Palace Mendy and Dennis Pratt. Harvey Barnes and Ayoze Perez supporting Kelechi Iheanacho. Bench for Leicester, Danny Ward, Wes Morgan, James Maddison, Michael Brighton, Cengiz Unda, Hamza Choudhury and Islam Slimani. We'll come back to Villa's side as there's a free kick here on the left for Leicester City, which Tielemans whips in towards the 6-yard box, away by Mings, brought down by Ayoze Perez, turns, shoots, deflection, takes it wide. Shout of handball against Ayoze Perez, which has fallen on deaf ears. That will be a corner to Leicester.
Yeah, fantastic delivery into a dangerous area from Tielemans, and Mings just can't clear the 18-yard box with a header. There's a little scramble. Ayoze Perez gets a little bit lucky with the ricochet, gets the shot away, and the ball just evaded Iheanacho there.
Corner comes in, cleared away, recovered by Mendy for Leicester on the right-hand side. Down the line to Dennis Pratt, back to Mendy again. He looks towards the halfway line. I will bring you that Aston Villa 11 right now, in fact, because the ball is all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel. So Villa have Emiliano Martinez in goal, back four of Matt Cash, Ezri Konsa, Tyrone Mings and Matt Targett. Foul on Cash here by Barnes means Villa have a free kick. Midfield, Douglas Luiz in the centre with John McGinn. Jack Grealish, Ross Barkley and Trezeguet form a trio of attacking talents behind Ollie Watkins up front, the hat-trick hero from the Liverpool game. Perfect hat-trick as well. On the bench, Jed Steer, Bjorn Engels, Ahmed El Mohammadi, Conor Horahan, Marvellous Nakamba, Anwar El Ghazi and Bertrand Traore. Our referee is John Moss, and the dreaded VAR is Graham Scott back at West London HQ. 47 minutes gone here. Leicester attacking the goal away to our left in the second period. Blue shirt, shorts and socks, white numbering and trim. Villa kick the other way towards the goal away to our right, left to right as we are looking. Claret shirts, blue sleeves, white shorts and sky blue socks. Johnny Evans tripped over by Trezeguet around the centre circle, much to Trezeguet's irritation, because Villa may well have been through there.
And just stepped in and intercepted Johnny Evans. Flicks the ball over Trezeguet and just catches one on the shin off him. I think from a Villa point of view, second half, I think Dean Smith will want his team to be a little bit better in possession, particularly in that midfield area. Leicester pressed really well in that first half, so they'll be hoping maybe that Leicester's energy levels drop a little bit and spaces kind of open up. Jack Grealish managed to get on the ball a bit more as the half went on, but I haven't really seen too much of Ross Barkley and not really seen a lot of service into Ollie Watkins either.
48 minutes gone. High ball towards Watkins, beaten by Fofana in the air. Justin's secondary header goes straight to McGinn of Aston Villa. Barkley helps it on left towards Grealish. More nice interplay between those two. Big move this, isn't it, for Ross Barkley, because he'll want to get back in the England side before the European Championships, and things had gone stale at Chelsea for him.
Yeah, I think, he just needs to be playing first team football week in, week out. Chelsea, that wasn't going to happen. They've got a host of different midfield players there. And it was really important for him. You see, with the Euros kind of coming up and looking to force his way back into that England setup on a regular basis. The only way you can do that is to be playing week in, week out. So I think Aston Villa is a really good move for him. And I think he started his life there really well, to be fair. Played very well against Liverpool.
It's Grealish for Villa, approaching the area, left hand side, plays in target, cross block, breaks back to Grealish. Left of the area, right footed crossfield chip, finds Trezeguet on the chest. Lovely first touch to get away from Justin, who bites back at the second attempt and just pokes the ball away from Trezeguet as he looked to get a shot away at goal. Good play by the Egyptian on the right hand side.
It just looked like he stole half a yard. That crossfield ball came over to Trezeguet and just looking to take it past Justin on the chest, and good recovery tackle by James Justin.
Of course, Trezeguet scored that 93rd minute winner in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg at Villa Park back in January. He does like to score against the Foxes. Of course, Villa went on to lose the final against Man City. Corner comes in, cleared away, turned forward again by Villa, but will bounce through to Kasper Schmeichel, who gathers and volleys out quickly, trying to release Barnes. Too heavy for Barnes, picked up by Cash. 50 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Just like that one, Kasper Schmeichel, doesn't he? Thinks he's got that sidewinder in the locker. Will look to try and get Leicester on those quick counter-attacks. So hit a really good one, to be fair, in the first half to set off Ayoze Perez on the counter-attack. Not quite executing that one, though, to perfection. Looking to release Harvey Barnes.
Here's Tyrone Mings approaching the halfway line from the left for Aston Villa, who started the second half more composed than Leicester, I would say. Aston Villa, they look a more threatening side going forward as well, which has got to be a concern for Brendan Rodgers. Throw in for Villa, target will take. Down the line to Watkins, up against Fofana. Looks to turn him down the line. Fofana has done well again. Not a bad debut so far for Wesley Fofana.
Been impressed with him and what he's done so far. Looks really comfortable on the ball, as I said, but the defensive work that he's had to do, he's done really well.
Throw-in is cleared away by Leicester, recovered by Konsa, facing his own penalty area. Knocks it back to Martinez, all in green, away to our left. Big blast upfield by the Argentinian keeper side from Arsenal, recovered by Grealish, who draws another foul. And this surely needs to be a yellow card here for Castagne, who's done at least 3 by my count on Jack Grealish. And I think Ross Barkley's making that point to John Moss every single time, and he's not wrong.
I don't know what he's doing here, Castagne. I don't think he liked the initial challenge as they both jumped for the aerial ball with him and Grealish picking up the second ball, and you could see it coming. As he's running towards the touchline there, you just know that he's going to come steaming in and try and make a challenge, and Grealish knows that too, just knocks the ball away from him. He comes in and slides him down. Stupid defending.
He seems to have got away with that one, Castagne, without a yellow card.
How is that not a yellow?
I'm baffled, actually. And it's not his first foul as well, so there's many reasons to have done it. And Ross Barkley made that point. Fell on deaf ears for John Moss. Free kick left hand side, target whips it in, flicked on by Mings, away by Justin, recovered by McGinn, whose volley was a bit of a swinger, and it will be cleared away by Justin, blocked well by Konsa, recovered by Trezeguet. Nice back heel Concert goal side of Justin. Cross comes in, but it's over hit. Mendy had to deal with it on the end line. Grealish was lurking. He wasn't to know it was probably going into touch. He does help it on its way. It will be a corner.
Yeah, lovely back heel by Trezeguet, but a centre half in a full-back's position and a centre half cross a little bit by Concert. But Mendy had a little bit more time on the far post than what he thought, but just a needless corner given away there, really.
It's a corner now on the attacking left-hand side. Grealish takes it right-footed. It's looping. Concert is there. Oh, he's headed wide. That's the best chance of the game, going the way of Villa's Ezri Concert. It's almost a free header from a couple of yards out, right at the back post, and he's missed it.
Yeah, I think it's Dennis Pratt who's initially marking him. He gets away from him. He's actually pulling his shorts off as well. Could have easily been a penalty. And then just gets off the back of Johnny Evans and just nods the ball down into the ground. But that's a really good chance. He should be getting that header on target.
What's going on with the shorts being pulled off this evening? I know it's box office, but
tonight.
Usually that kind of thing is box office after midnight. Moving on. Family show.
I think he has scored a goal this season already with his head, as we can't say. He would have fancied himself there in that position. Should at least really be hitting the target. Did the right thing heading the ball down into the ground, but just missing that near post.
He scored that winner, didn't he, against Sheffield United. 2 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances. Another former Brentford player in this Aston Villa lineup and in this league as well. Should have given Aston Villa the lead tonight, but failed to do so with the best chance of the game so far. 10 minutes go in the second period. Leicester 0, Aston Villa 0. And Dean Smith will be frustrated because so far his side, I feel, have been the better of the two.
Yeah, they've come out better start of the second half, and that is the frailties there, a little bit of zonal marking where, you have your kind of 2 or 3 centre-backs, whatever it is, across the 6-yard box, and then you have 2 or 3 players 5 yards ahead of them, and they're supposed to block the runs of the opposition kind of attacking players or defenders. Then it's not really doing his job there. Allows Concert to get a run off the back of Johnny Evans, and it's a decent chance.
Scrappy stuff so far in the second, as it was the first. Villa under some pressure midway inside Leicester territory, chipped the ball into touch. Ball towards Matt Cash was overhit. Johnny Evans' clearance from the eventual throw, intercepted by Douglas Luiz, who looks forward to Grealish. Grealish edge the area onto Trezeguet, right hand side. Low cross is blocked. James Justin sliding in. Ball span up in the air there and has just got into touch before Trezeguet could retrieve it.
Brilliant defending again by James Justin. He's done this 3 or 4 times. Some real vital blocks. Defensively, he's been really good stopping delivery coming into that Leicester 18-yard box.
And more to do here for Aston Villa. On the right-hand side, they're coming forward. McGinn's ball, deep one. It's away again by Leicester. This time Fofana with the clearance. Barnes runs into trouble. Fofana helps him out again. Ball came off target last, and will be a throw into Leicester in the right back area midway inside their own half.
Good defensive header from Fofana. It was deep delivery to that far post, and it was loopy delivery as well, so they're difficult to get distance and height on your defensive header, but did really well to kind of get it to the edge of the 18-yard box.
Well, he's played against Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria as the young man signed from St Etienne, so won't be afraid of Ollie Watkins and co. Has been really assured on debut defensively so far, and here he is on the ball. Knocks the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel on the edge of his own area. Left to Johnny Evans. On to Justin. 57 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Villa, a reminder, looking to win their opening 4 matches of a season for the first time since 1930, and if they are able to achieve that tonight, they would move to 12 points and second the table behind Everton, who of course dropped points for the first time this weekend in that dramatic Merseyside derby.
Yeah, you'd almost want a game the following week, wouldn't you? After hammering Liverpool, you're full of confidence. You just want the next game to roll around really quickly.
Ayoze Perez, right hand side here, nice cut back towards Tielemans, good challenge by Trezeguet. Referee says Tielemans fouled Trezeguet following the Egyptian's interception. So impressed by Trezeguet this evening, both offensively and defensively. He's covered so much ground.
Yeah, he's worked really hard, and I think his game's gone up a level from last season. Was wondering who was going to maybe play on that right hand side for Villa this season, but he's been given the shirt, and I think he's had an excellent start. But as I was saying, I think Villa players full of confidence. They would have wanted the next game to come around really quickly, and international break has almost halted their momentum slightly. You can see that a little bit in their performance this evening.
He was out of favour from around January time, Trezeguet, but was back in the side for Project Restart. There's been a firm fixture this season as well, starting 10 of the last 11 Premier League games. First starts since January. Here's McGinn, back to goal, finds Barkley behind him. Further back to Grealish, over on that left-hand side again, the two England internationals combined. Grealish up against Ayoze Perez, takes him down the left-hand side, takes him outside towards the end line, challenged by Ayoze Perez, and the referee then says Grealish has fouled the Leicester man after he won the ball back.
Good defensive work by Ayoze Perez.
Well, how comes we've got the game with the good defensive work?
I don't know.
There's been no good defensive work all season by anybody. And now you and me are getting this defensive masterclass.
I don't mind it, being an extra central defender myself.
I'm the only man around here not enjoying it.
Sometimes it's nice to see, well, certainly this season it's nice to see players defending properly. Ayoze Perez there just teaching Timothy Castagne how to do it, stay on your feet.
Been a great example this evening of how to defend, a lost art in the Premier League season 2021. Here's Harvey Barnes trying to end all that. Nice 1-2 with Tielemans, then Barkley wins the ball back, but only as far as Tielemans, who takes a shot here. It's on target after a deflection, and it's saved to his left by Emiliano Martinez, who had to move because the ball was going one way then the other. Not only does he save it, he picks up the second ball too.
Yeah, smart save from Martinez. He just nicks off Tyrone Mings, the shot from Tielemans, all created by himself really, that chance, because he stepped in quickly, won the ball from Ross Barkley, gets the shot away, just gets a nick off Tyrone Mings and makes the save a little bit more difficult for Martinez, but he did well.
Throw in for Aston Villa on the left-hand side, finds Watkins on the end line, up against Fofana, up against Castagne. Castagne wins the ball back.
Stand up, good.
Fofana back to Schmeichel, and he will loop that ball away over on the far side. Well, it's an hour gone now, it's 0-0, and I would say
Maddison?
Yes, where is he? This is where I'm going, where is he?
Surely the jacket's off now.
Yes.
The bottoms were off, weren't they?
Yes. What else needs to be taken off to get him ready? Let's find out. It's Villa growing and growing in this game. They look the more likely, and they're coming forward again. Cross towards Watkins here from the right, away by Fofana. Picked up by Grealish, looks to shift it. Maybe waited too long here. He's still going. He's beaten two. He can't get away from Fofana. Runs into touch in the end, and he's smiling here, Grealish, but it was just on, wasn't it, to shift and shoot. He didn't do it.
Yeah, just probably too many touches, allowed too many Leicester bodies to converge on him. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 touches, and almost finds a way through in the end. Fofana just about doing enough.
62 minutes on the clock. They also have Leicester Islam Slimani, the centre forward. Cengiz Ünder brought in, the Turkish international, during the summer transfer window, so they have attacking players on the bench. Marco Brighton, survivor of the title-winning side, of course. So they do have the chance to change it if they want to. They're coming forward here down the left-hand side. James Justin played in on the edge of the area, runs into Cash right on the edge of the area here. Cash, yellow carded earlier, by the way, has been adjudged to have fouled Justin right on the edge. We're seeing the replay of it. I'm not too sure there's much in that.
Just steps across him, doesn't he, as the ball's nodded back inside James Justin. He just gets there first, touches it in front of Matty Cash, and almost runs across him, and maybe slight contact just there on the left ankle, James Justin, but he's very quick to go down. Very close to being a penalty, that as well.
Well, that's a foul, which has been given, and it was a chance-creating opportunity, if not a goal-scoring opportunity. That should have been a second yellow for Matt Cash, I would say.
He was driving inside of the 18-yard box and then probably looking to cross the ball across the 6-yard box. So I don't think he's having the best of nights, Jonathan Moss, to be honest with you, Tom.
No, I mean, he's still shocked by that Manuel Lanzini goal, I suppose. When he came out here, it was 3-0 to Tottenham, and he goes back anyway. Free kick on 3-3 for those who don't know, by the way. Free kick for Leicester is on the edge of the area, extreme left-hand side. Tielemans is over it. Tielemans hits it on target, but you've got to do better than that to beat Emiliano Martinez, who catches and falls on it.
Yeah, nice to see a goalkeeper catch as well. You see a lot of goalkeepers there, they'll just palm that out and go for safety, but a decent effort from Tielemans, but no reason why Martinez shouldn't be catching that, and that's what he does. Good handling.
He went for the Schmeichel sidewinder, trying to release Watkins, well intercepted by Leicester, and the Foxes can come forward again. 64 minutes gone, it's 0-0. Here's Tielemans outright towards Castagne, back to Mendy. Castagne, back to Mendy. Infield to Tielemans, over the halfway on the right, round the corner by Pratt to Castagne. Back to Pratt again, starting challenge by Target. Throw into Leicester, right hand side, level with the penalty area. Taken quickly into Pratt, back to Castagne. He'll find Mendy, better from Leicester, edging their way forward. Final ball has been missing all night though for Leicester City, and Villa are stopping them getting it now. Grealish with the tackle, picked up by Mendy, through ball intercepted by Mings. Barkley dummies the forward pass to release Grealish, and he's got runners here. One is McGinn, and McGinn is goal signer Fofana up against Evans, cuts it back towards Trezeguet, pass straight to Tielemans when Trezeguet was begging for that ball, but that's not great from John McGinn.
Oh, that needs to be better. What an opportunity for Aston Villa. The run from McGinn is brilliant. Grealish plays him in, and he does the right thing, Tom. He sees the pull back to the edge of the 18-yard box, but he just doesn't execute it well enough, doesn't get it out in front of Trezeguet, and just allows, I think it's Tielemans, to get back and make the interception. Big opportunity missed.
Here's Cash midway inside his own half, 65 minutes gone. We are getting a game that's opening up a little bit here. Very cautious from both sides for much of this game. Cagey match.
Yeah, how easy was that for Aston Villa to open Leicester up there as well? One pass from Grealish and he's in behind John McGinn. Just a simple run forward, as I said, just didn't execute the square ball.
Game can do with a couple more of those babies in the gap. Runners, chances created, because there's 3 points in the offing here, and Aston Villa could be on for a famous victory to continue their brilliant start to this season. They're coming forward again. If Leicester aren't careful, they're on for back-to-back home defeats.
You just wonder if Leicester have given their best in this. You know, they were decent first half without really creating anything of note, but again, you can see Villa now just coming into this second half and just looking at opportunity there again from McGinn to square the ball, and it would have been a chance for Aston Villa.
I didn't notice it first time round, but Johnny Evans was he 25 yards deeper than the rest of the Leicester defence?
Yeah.
Everyone else is playing offside?
Yeah.
A corner here for Villa, caught by Kasper Schmeichel.
That's poor delivery, really is. Need to keep it away from the goalkeeper, give something for your fellow players to attack. Just lets Leicester off the hook. Here he is, Tom.
Well, not before time. James Maddison set to come on. Maybe the player who could unlock the door here for Leicester City. I'm not even sure they've got the right address at the moment, let alone unlock the door. Here's Cash for Villa. 1-2 with Trezeguet. Good interception by Justin again. He's in a really good game in the fullback area, and now the change will come.
I'm just wondering who might come off here. I don't know if you see Iheanacho maybe.
So it looks like Dennis Pratt is the man who's going to be withdrawn. James Maddison missed the West Ham game with a calf injury that kept him out during the international break. Second most chances created of any Premier League player since his debut. Only Kevin De Bruyne has statistically created more, so he could be the man for us here.
No pressure.
Dennis Pratt, hard-working player, no doubt about it, but not exactly the box office player those paying $14.95 would have liked to see. Throw in here for Villa, level with the area, right hand side. Cash will take it. Speaking of Cash, into McGinn. Looks to turn away from Tielemans, challenged by the Leicester midfielder. Corner to Villa on the right hand side. Another corner for Aston Villa. Haven't looked particularly threatening from these situations. This their 7th by my count of the match.
It hasn't been quite on point, the delivery from McGinn yet. Another opportunity though.
Mings forward. Trezeguet lurking. Barkley at the near. Deep ball towards Mings. Leicester players run into each other. Mings recovers it on the end line. He thinks he was caught late. Referee doesn't give it. Cross comes in. Watkins is there. Oh, he's fluffed the volley. Picked up by Grealish. Right hand side of the area. Lays it back. Douglas Luiz fires it straight at Kasper Schmeichel. Free hit from the edge of the area. Perfectly laid up. And that's a poor finish.
Yeah, just went for safety with a side foot. Straight at Kasper Schmeichel. Initially the chance on a foul post of Watkins, who just totally miskicks the ball. Grealish picks it up. Little square ball to Douglas Luiz, and 6-7 Leicester players in. Nobody closes him down. It's a tame shot in the end though.
The other end, Maddison finds Tielemans. Tielemans crossfield. Castagne cuts it back, but didn't quite get enough on that. And it's away by Target onto Trezeguet. He'll find Barkley. Villa already on the halfway line, streaking forward here. Here's Ross Barkley, left to right, finds Watkins in the area, brings it down, shifts and shoots. Deflected, on target, saved by Schmeichel. Really good block by Fofana. Game is just warming up at long last.
Yeah, well, Castagne was the one who got forward initially, and then a quick counter-attack. He's quite a position. It's that man again, James Justin, with a block as Riley Watkins comes inside and looks to fire a shot away.
You're absolutely right, it was James Justin with that block in the end, but Watkins running at him here. Back towards Trezeguet, cross comes in. Looking for Grealish, won by Castagne. Cushions it back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Yeah, nice to see him back in a defensive position. Castagne spent most of the time attacking. Aston Villa almost taking advantage of that with a quick counter-attack, but back in his full-back position here, showing really good composure, nodding the ball back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Here's Maddison, goal sign of Douglas Luiz. He's been dragged down by the Brazilian midfielder. Should have scored a few moments ago, and now he's given away a free kick in a real dangerous area.
He does have his yellow card, Jonathan Moss. I was beginning to think that he'd forgotten him. Maddison gets the other side of Douglas Luiz. Cynical foul, drags him down, and he will pick himself up, and I'm sure he will step over this and have an attempt himself.
Interesting change coming up here for Leicester City. Kelechi Iheanacho, ineffective tonight, goes off. He is replaced by Islam Slimani for his first appearance for Leicester since playing in 2018 for Newcastle. In fact, in the Premier League was his last appearance. Last Leicester appearance was 2018 January against Fleetwood.
The squad must be stretched.
He was on loan last year at Monaco. 9 goals in 19 appearances for them. So last Premier League game for Newcastle in the April of 2018. January for Leicester against Fleetwood last time he played in this kit. There we are. He is now on. And he might be just watching Maddison find the top corner here. Free kick left of centre. Perfect position for James Maddison. Straight into the wall. Back to Maddison again, who's picked it up in the area, though he's unable to control that spinning, bouncing ball when he's been robbed by Watkins. Into Ross Barkley, trying to counter here. Good sliding challenge by Fofana. Gets Leicester going again. Here's Maddison, corner of the area, cuts inside, looks to slip it to Tielemans. First time left to Barnes. Up against Cash on the left. Good challenge by Matt Cash, and gets the second ball too, and surely draws the foul for Barnes. Referee doesn't give it. Strong challenge by Trezeguet. Could also have been a foul. Not given. 1 minute he's giving all the free kicks. Next minute he can't give any. Much more like it. And now Villa can break away. Well, a couple of chances, half chances there for Leicester City as Watkins brings Villa forward. Nice turn by McGinn away from Maddison. And sometimes you do need that, don't you? The referee just to let things go.
Yeah,
this game has not flowed.
Don't see it enough, to be fair. You know, having a bit of a go at Jonathan Moss there, but don't see it enough. You know, players going over, and refs are so quick to blow the whistle and give fouls. There was about 3 or 4 potential fouls there, and he didn't give any of them.
Another one here, which has been given by Castagne on Grealish, which didn't look like a foul, and in fact he's going to get yellow carded for it.
Finally.
What game is he watching? Honestly, is he watching the same game as us?
I don't think he is.
Because he's done about 5 tackles that were worse than that for yellows. This time he's won the ball.
Yeah, he did kick for the back of him, which you can't really do these days. Grealish not happy as well, has a little swipe at Castagne, but definitely done worse tackles than that, and I didn't think he was ever going to get booked, to be honest with you.
No,
it's
well,
a murder.
He's well earned that one, has Castagne, and it's a chance for Aston Villa to whip one in the penalty area, left-hand side, 35 odd yards from goal. Infield, targets over it on the inside left. Conser forward again, as is Mings. Watkins a threat to, whipped in, away by Castagne, recovered by Target, headed back towards Cash. His volley forward intercepted by Castagne again. He'll find Slimani. One-time record signing for this club, Islam Slimani, brought in for £29 million from Sporting 4 years ago now. 5-year contract, so this the last year of his contract. Couple of loans in that time. Incredible, really. He's playing for Leicester City now. I genuinely couldn't remember him playing for Leicester. I assumed he'd either retired or been sold. Found that out this morning during the research for the game. As you say, doesn't say much about the strength in depth of Leicester, as Watkins has robbed Mendy here, and he takes on Johnny Evans, and he's been tripped over. That's got to be a foul, and that's got to be another yellow card for Leicester City. Johnny Evans took Watkins out there. And, well, I suppose you could say once he's beaten him, it had to be done.
Yeah, well, why did he take so long to blow the whistle, though? It's a blatant foul. Ollie Watkins just knocks the ball past Johnny Evans, and he's going to be through on goal. He has to make the foul. Cynical just pokes a leg out, brings him down. It takes about 6 seconds for Jonathan Moss to decide whether it's a foul or not.
Well, luckily Fofana was on the cover there for Johnny Evans, because he makes no attempt to play the ball there at all.
I'm not sure he would have got across, though, to stop a potential shot.
Free kicks about 40 yards from goal, centre of the field, too far away for a shot, you'd imagine, unless you're Manuel Lanzini, of course. 15 minutes remaining. Mothers meeting about what's actually going to happen here. Mings, Barkley, Luiz, Target, Cash. It better be something clever now. I bet it's not. Barkley has left it. He's doing the big run-up. Is he going for a David Luiz? Target's poked it to him. Into Barkley, back to Watkins. What on earth was that? A strong challenge by Target. Keeps Villa on the ball here. Trezeguet cross field.
What's that?
Ayoze Perez chests it back to Castagne, who clears. Yeah, it wasn't great, that, was it, really?
Poor passage of play. Not sure what they were thinking there. Tyrone Mings there trying to direct that free kick, give a few instructions. I think he just confused Ross Barkley more than anything.
The other end, Leicester are breaking. Good play by Slimani to find Barnes on the halfway line. He's surely been fouled by Trezeguet.
It's gone scrappy now, isn't it?
Gone scrappy? I didn't think it'd get scrappier.
It's a foul fest now.
I feel like we're watching Storage Wars with so much scrap. Anyway, you can tell I've been at home a lot in the daytime with that joke. Leicester making a change here. Hamza Choudhury coming on for the final 14 minutes of the game.
Another man that likes a foul.
Here's a man that likes to score a goal, create a chance. James Maddison, left-hand side. Back to Justin. And here's Maddison again. Shifts on the right boot. Cross comes in towards Slimani. Away by Conser. Recovered by Mendy. Looks to chip in towards Maddison. It's away by Conser. Barkley beats Tielemans to the ball. And Douglas Luiz can bring Villa upfield. He's found Grealish, who's away from Castagne. Here he goes, Jack Grealish. Barkley right. Hasn't released it. Still hasn't released it. Going wide. Grealish cuts it back. Waited too long and the cross is clear.
Tom, what's he doing there? He has to release the ball there. Too many touches. Leicester caught with bodies that field. A quick counter-attack. Great opportunity to slip Ollie Watkins in there, or he could have gone left. He just hogs the ball too long.
Here's Slimani on the right-hand side as Leicester come forward. Low cross is blocked by Douglas Luiz. Target picks it up. Left-footed clearance. into no man's land. Fofana picks it up in the centre. Tielemans forward, Maddison turns, Slimani on the right, cuts it back, Barnes in the area, shifts it, can't release it, can he get a shot away? On the left boot, does shoot, it's over the top from Harvey Barnes. May have taken a block on its way through. No, it will be a goal kick. It was just too high from Harvey Barnes. I mean, it's certainly a better game in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's opening up, and Leicester throw more caution to the wind, getting caught on the counter-attack now, and Harvey Barnes is desperate to get a shot off here, isn't he? He's twisting, turning. He could have played James Justin in, which would have been the better option, but that is his weakness for me. Harvey Barnes, as good a player as he is, his decision making at times in the final third, when to run with the ball, when to pass, when to shoot, doesn't always get it right.
Change here for Leicester City. Mendy is withdrawn. Hamza Choudhury on to replace him, so that's a straight swap in the centre midfield. Then Palace Mendy, another player we thought was going to get bombed out at Leicester City. Started all 4 games this season, just made 4 starts last season, so 5 starts now for Mendy, including this evening. But
didn't he actually leave, Tom, and come back? Didn't he re-sign him?
Yes, he was originally released in the summer, was out of contract, but then re-signed following his release.
Never happened to me before that.
What happened to Colton Cole, I remember once.
He did actually.
Who got released and no one bought him for 4 months, and he re-signed for West Ham. But that's the only other time I can recall it happening. But he is now off, and Choudhury is now on, and Maddison's been fouled by Douglas Luiz.
Has he been booked as well?
Yes, he has. So Cash and Luiz shortly on their last warning.
Surely someone's going at some point.
Well, Castagne should have gone already.
Yeah.
Luiz probably could have gone.
Again, he gets caught the wrong side. James Maddison gets onto the second ball.
It's a yellow card.
Yeah, he just clips his heels from behind.
Very odd match so far, I think it's fair to say, from many angles.
Refs struggle with it.
Well, so have the two teams, but they can still salvage something from it. Doesn't matter how good the game was if you get all 3 points. And it's Leicester now on the front foot. Maddison is over this free kick. It's inside right, deep in the half. He slipped in. Ayoze Perez in the area on the blind side of target. Lovely turn by Ayoze Perez, but his shot is blocked. Trezeguet has then won it back for Villa. Tielemans goes down. Leicester have retaken possession. Referee says play on. They probably wanted the free kick there, to be fair, Leicester. But they are now playing on. They ain't going to get the free kick, so they need to play on. Tielemans stays down. Out right to Perez. Right-footed cross into Slimani, who gets a powerful header on the ball. Islam Slimani. I was quite expecting it because Mings should have cleared it easily. And the header is off target.
It's gone really niggly, this game, and I think it was Trezeguet there with a late one on Tielemans as he laid the ball off. So at least the ref's probably been consistent for both teams. He's missed a lot, let a lot of fouls go.
Well, there's a chance for someone to make themselves a hero here. Why not Bertrand Traoré, who's coming on for Trezeguet, £19 million from Lyon. Former Chelsea teammate of John Terry, 25 years of age. Scored on his debut in the Carabao Cup against Bristol City. 25 games, 4 goals for Lyon last season as they finished runners-up in the French League Cup.
So we'll bring a different kind of option, more of like an inside forward Traoré. You look at Trezeguet, he's more of an out-and-out winger. He will look to get inside the full-back and centre-back and a better finisher, so brings a different option to Villa's attack.
Harvey Barnes brings Leicester forward. Out left to Justin. Left-footed cross towards Slimani. Won by Konsa. They are a bit worried about Slimani defensively. Aston Villa, which they certainly weren't about. Iheanacho. Here's Barnes, edge of the area. Carries it out left. No pass on for him, so looks infield to Justin. Tries a return. Blocked by Douglas Luiz. Recovered by Tielemans and all the way back to Johnny Evans. It's a game tonight, Gabs, that does show us how tough it's going to be for Leicester when Jamie Vardy eventually, inevitably, hangs up the boots.
It's just not the same with a different Leicester team when he's not playing. Slimani on the field now, that does allow them to cross the ball from wide areas because they have that physical presence now, but You do miss Vardy's energy and his movement.
Oh, lovely ball by McGinn to find Grealish left-hand side. He's got to try and beat 4 players. He tried to, couldn't get away from Fofana, who then carries the ball out right. Barkley, too strong for Fofana, gets Villa back on the ball. Target then challenges and kind of falls over for Villa. All a bit of a mess. Leicester have come out with the ball. Tielemans, left adjusted, gets away from the diving challenge of Traore and helps it firmly out left to Barnes. Here is Barnes approaching the area from the left-hand side. Couple of step-overs. Shot blocked by Luis. Recovered by Slimani. Helps it back to Tielemans. Ball right to Castagne in the area. Then to Maddison. I thought he was going to shoot there for a second. Dummied and carries it back. Instead, up against Grealish. Helps it right to Castagne. Crosses blocked by Target's back. Choudhury heads it right. Picked up by Castagne. Further back to Choudhury. Here's Tielemans forward to Maddison, who, he was found by the fired ball in, and he's miscontrolled it and says, how was I supposed to control that? But you're paid to do so,
Well, if anyone is capable of controlling it, he's one of them players, but
you're not out there because it's easy, are you?
Well, the pass appreciation from Tielemans wasn't great, to be fair, but I'm looking at the move before that, really, and Harvey Barnes getting the ball inside the 18-yard box. And if you're in a one-on-one situation, I can understand trying to beat your man and get a shot away, but it's 2 or 3 Villa bodies there as he cuts inside, and his shot actually gets blocked. There's that many Villa players there. It's just poor decision making again. He's got to get his head up.
Johnny Evans, big dig from the halfway, trying to find Ayoze Perez. Won by Target, breaks to Maddison. Cross hits the backside of Castagne, and Barkley brings Villa away. Another good pass forward to Watkins. Into Cash, forward to Traore. Nice first touch and lays it off to Cash. Watkins down the right-hand side. Here he is now. Back to Traore, out of his body. Strong challenge from Choudhury.
He loves the tackle.
That's what you bring him on for.
Yeah, he's aggressive, combative in that midfield area. Just got the feeling that Villa are going to nick this, Tom, on a counter-attack. I think Leicester are going to commit too many bodies forward and Villa are going to hit them with a sucker punch.
They should have nicked it already. They've had their moments here on the breakaway, Villa. Grealish, McGinn, both went through and did nothing when they had the chance. I think they've played the perfect away game in many ways here, Villa, but just haven't had the composure when it counted. 6 minutes of normal time remaining to put that right. Or for Leicester to salvage something from a pretty dismal performance. Questions to answer for Brendan Rodgers, problems to solve.
Some big players missing, so you have to excuse in that, I suppose. 2 game changers, one in Jamie Vardy, obviously Maddison not starting the game. You miss those players, it's always going to be more difficult to create chances, score goals, but I do think for the possession that they've had though, and the areas that they've got into constantly, even with the players on the pitch now, they really should have done a lot better.
Here's Jack Grealish, 5 minutes remaining. Nice clip away from Tielemans, approaching the area from the centre. It's on to Traore in the penalty box. Left-footed cross. I have no idea what it was aiming for there. I think it's deflected off a Leicester leg to save Traore's blushes. There was no runner at the back post.
Yeah, but there is an openness about Leicester now. I'm looking at Yuri Tielemans and he's struggling to get into a sprint. Looks like his race is run. Troy there just cutting inside onto his left foot. There's no one really making a run to that far post. I'm not sure he was trying to got lucky with a deflection really there to get the corner.
He will take the corner, Traore towards the near. It's away by Castagne, breaks the target, turns the shot towards goal. Deflected off a Leicester leg, could have gone anywhere, but there were no Villa players sniffing about, and Schmeichel picks it up. The wind up and the kick.
Why?
All the way through to Martinez.
Pointless. That's him just showing off. He's just trying to show off his passing range there. There's 4 Aston Villa defenders back. Slimani's up top on his own. What's he going to do even if he hits him there with 4 Villa players around him?
No.
Giving the ball straight back to the opposition.
It's not been a vintage performance of anyone individually or collectively tonight. As Tyrone Mings looks crossfield left to right. That's a beautiful ball. Brought down nicely by Traore. He can run in field. Left-footed the other way to Grealish, who's got a backtrack, brings it down the chest, up against Castagne, shifts right. Jack Grealish infield. Dummies to shoot and doesn't. Shifts it again. He's away from 2, away from 3, into Barkley, who turns and shoots, blocked by Johnny Evans. And Leicester can break away at the other end. Maddison slips in Slimani. He's no Vardy. Slimani hasn't got the pace, hasn't played much football, loses out to Konsa without Konsa putting a challenge in.
Yeah, that would have been totally different if Maddison was slipping that through to Jamie Vardy. Konsa would have had much more of a problem with the pace that he has. Slimani just looking down at the ground because he felt that ball bobbled up, and that's why he ended up turning the ball over. But great play from Grealish again there in tight spaces. Leicester bodies all around him. Somehow he's able to pick a way through, and Ross Barkley almost getting a shot away.
Mings infield to Konsa. Cash will go back to his goalkeeper Martinez. It's a good draw this for Villa, isn't it? When you get down to it, it'll be 10 points from 4 games. They only got, 36, 37 all last season.
Yeah, I think Dean Smith, he'd be fairly pleased off the back of international break. Keep that momentum going. Hopefully, a clean sheet. It's not the worst point. Leicester, a difficult place to come and play.
I just don't see how Leicester score a goal here, to be honest. I don't really see what the plan is. 35, thank you. It's 35 points they got last season. Aston Villa after 38 games. It'll be 10 already after 4. And that's an incredible rate of improvement. Could be 12 still. Well, it could be 9 if Leicester can get something here. Castagne in the box, right hand side, cross blocked by Mings. Ricochets back off Castagne, will be a goal kick with 90 seconds of normal time remaining.
He keeps getting forward, Castagne. Gets on the overlap, gets to the byline, but it's not all just been him. I don't think the movement's been great. Enough bodies in the box as well when he's got into those areas just to make the cross into the box a little bit more easier.
Last 90 seconds of play, and we may well be on for what I believe would be our first 0-0 of the season, Gab. So thanks for coming in for this one. I'm sure you've enjoyed it.
I tell you what, it's been a tough couple of weeks for me with some of the games that I've watched.
Maybe a big finish here as Traore's found in the box here, heads on target, crossed by McGinn. Well, he gets the header on target, but there's very little power in it, and Schmeichel saves it easily in the end. 3 in the box they had there.
Yeah, poor decision. Should have knocked it back for Ross Barkley. Would have been a simpler finish.
Didn't get the power in the header. Traore didn't get the neck muscles working, but they might have another chance here. Villa, as they've won it again upfield. Traore turns away from Choudhury down the right hand side, inside then outside then back. Cash looks further back to Konsa. Konsa midway inside his own half will find Emiliano Martinez. 90 minutes are now up here at the King Power. 4 minutes will be added on. Target forward to McGinn. McGinn, lovely turn. Midway inside Leicester territory into Barkley. Space for a shot. That shot! Oh, fantastic goal! What a fantastic goal for Aston Villa. The villains have robbed it. And that's a fantastic strike from Ross Barkley, the man on loan from Chelsea. It's been in the offing all day long for Villa. Time to shoot. They do shoot. No chance for Kasper Schmeichel. And Aston Villa, they are going to win 4 games in a row at the start of a top-flight season for the first time since 1930.
Well, you could feel it coming, Tom. I said it. I think Aston Villa are going to nick this one on the counter-attack. And the gaps have been opening up from a Leicester point of view, and they just get caught in that midfield area. Choudhury gets caught the wrong side of Ross Barkley, and you cannot give him space on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a fantastic strike. Drills a shot low to Kasper Schmeichel's right in that side netting, and he's got absolutely no chance. Dean Smith absolutely delighted, and it looks like Aston Villa have nicked this one right at the death.
Well, no less than they deserve. Aston Villa, they have been the better side across the game. Leicester have looked toothless, pointless, and have deserved to lose. Aston Villa, with a bit more conviction, could have won this more comfortably. Ross Barkley with a tremendous goal. It's his 50th goal in his senior career for club and country. 44 club goals and 6 for the England national side. Looks like he's got a new lease of life here.
Yeah, you have to say he's been quiet. He hasn't influenced the game as he would have liked. But he just cheats off the back of that Leicester midfield. I mentioned Tielemans has been treading water the last 10 minutes. Choudhury gets caught the wrong side. McGinn's able to turn, plays a lovely square ball to him. He's got a lot of time to assess his options. And he's got a fantastic strike on him, as we know. Ross Barkley, technically very good.
Beautiful finish.
No chance, yeah.
He's coming forward again here, Barkley. Into Traore. Leicester look out on their feet. Edge of the area. Choudhury holds him up. Back to McGinn. Another hard-working showing from him. Left to Grealish. Into Barkley. Back to goal. Edge of the area. Right to Cash. They could get a second here, Villa. They're all over Leicester. Here is Cash. Keeps it in the corner. Smart boy. Back to Watkins. Leaves it for Traore. Leicester cannot get anywhere near the football. At home with a couple of minutes remaining of additional time. Back to Mings for Villa. Looks crossfield towards Cash. Won by Barnes. Straight into touch. And they're cruising to victory, Aston Villa.
Well, they are, and you could just feel it coming. Leicester were getting more desperate, throw more bodies forward, tiring, the legs tiring. That midfield area was starting to open up. You have to say it's been a perfect away performance from Aston Villa. Not been great in the final third, but defensively solid, kept themselves in the game. And as the game's opened up, they've taken full advantage.
Well, back when they started this well in the top flight in 1930, Villa, second they finished that season, and that's where they'll be going right now with the score as it is. And look, I'm confident enough to say, Villa fans, I would worry. This one's in the bag. High ball towards Watkins for Villa, picked up by Barnes, cleared away by Justin. No one really to break away for Leicester. Slimani chasing this clearance down. Conster's done well to chest it down and knock it back to Emiliano Martinez. They look a good unit, don't they, Aston Villa?
Yeah, well balanced team now. The recruitment they've done has been fantastic. The players that have come in have hit the ground running, and I think credit to the owners as well. I think last season when Villa were struggling, it would have been very easy to pull the trigger on Dean Smith. They stuck with their man, kept them in the Premier League. They've given him the players that he wanted now in the summer, and they've started the season ever so well.
Aston Villa's tremendous unbeaten run, back end of last season, start of this, looks set to continue. Will it be another win for them? That's got to be the last chance as Leicester pump one forward, and then Choudhury has fouled Konsa, and indeed it is the final attack, the final moment of this game, which was scrappy, bitty, not one for the purists, not box office, that's for sure. Unless, of course, you're an Aston Villa fan, unless you are Ross Barkley, rejuvenating his career at Villa Park, and it's his stunning late winner which has given Aston Villa all 3 points. It puts them up to second in the Premier League table, their best start to a season for 90 years in the top flight, and they've certainly deserved it tonight. 1-0 it has finished to the away side. Another victory for them. 100% start to the season. Analysis of all the action and all the weekend to come after this break. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Talk Sport.
Impress Lost Tribes people of the Andes by demonstrating the new updated TalkSport app. Listen live, listen again, and listen good, Buster. Download the app at talksport.com now. The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
Hello, I'm Andy Goldstein, and of course you can hear me on the Sports Bar with Jason Cundy. We'll be taking all your calls, text, tweets and emails on all the big talking points from the weekend's football. And remember, we bring you the very first look at the next day's back page headlines every single night.
The Sports Bar, weeknights from 10 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new TalkSport swimming pool. Goff! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck in the warm, chlorinated waters of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on TalkSport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Durham, a sporting legend and an angry sports journalist who'll pick a fight with anyone.
Just really winds me up. Absolutely unbelievable.
To say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double strength drive time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him. I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, who hands up who wants me to stay?
Drive time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on TalkSport.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs on Sport. TalkSport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksbee and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got pussy galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup. Will that do?
Not really, Andy, no.
Hawksbee and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on TalkSport.
TalkSport.
Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents and entertain the kids with the improved TalkSport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from TalkSport.com.
Hey, kids, take my mobile and go over there and play or something. Don't press the button that says Tinder.
TalkSport.
Full time then in our final game of this bumper Premier League Sunday. The game was between Leicester City and Aston Villa. In the end, it's the villains who take all 3 points. Leicester are in the area here. Ball towards Castagne. His shot has been blocked by Emiliano Martinez, but just before that there was a collision off the ball. Recovered by McGinn, chips it forward. Good run, Trezeguet. Oh, he just couldn't get the volley on that one, Trezeguet. Iheanacho chops in field, shoots a goal. It's a good effort by Iheanacho. It's on target. Good control target. He'll find Grealish, cuts it back. Oh, that's a lovely effort there from Trezeguet, who's gone down. It's a corner now on the attacking left-hand side. Grealish takes it right-footed. It's looping. Costa is there. Oh, he's headed wide. That's the best chance of the game, going the way of Villa's Ezri Costa. Tielemans, then Barkley wins the ball back, but only as far as Tielemans, who takes a shot here. It's on target after a deflection, and it's saved to his left by Emiliano Martinez, who had to move because the ball was going one way then the other. Picked up by Grealish, right-hand side of the area, lays it back. Douglas Luiz fires it straight at Kasper Schmeichel. Midway inside Leicester territory, into Barkley, space for a shot. Nacho! Oh, fantastic goal! What a fantastic goal for Aston Villa. The villains have robbed it, and that's a fantastic strike from Ross Barkley, the man on loan from Chelsea. It's been in the offing all day long for Villa. Yeah, it certainly was for Aston Villa, and in the end they do take all 3 points. It did feel in the offing, Gabs, you mentioned it in commentary, Danny Gavin, and watching this one with me, for a long time, if they could just get it right in the final third. They kept getting there and fluffing it up, but in the end a superb strike from Ross Barkley gets him the win. Yeah,
a goal winning, worthy of winning any game, I have to say, and it just felt like Leicester almost ran out of ideas. They almost punched themselves out. They kept knocking on the door, but Villa, credit to them, defensively were outstanding. And you just saw the game kind of open up then. Second half got a bit scrappy. There was a lot of kind of silly fouls, but it just looked like Leicester kind of ran out of steam, and Aston Villa, I have to say, fitness levels fantastic, kept going right to the end, and that midfield area, Leicester just started to open up, and then Aston Villa and Ross Barkley in particular taking full advantage of that. Fantastic strike from the edge of the box. Kasper Schmeichel, absolutely no chance, and just capped off the perfect away performance, really defensively solid, work we like in midfield. I think Dean Smith would have liked to have seen him a bit better in possession of the football, but that's why you bring in those players with that extra bit of quality, and Ross Barkley has come up with that special moment for them to get them over the line and get them the 3 points, which I think they deserved in the end.
Barkley has scored in each of his 2 Premier League appearances for Aston Villa, as many as he'd scored in his last 42 for Chelsea before moving to Villa Park, and he just looks at home here, doesn't he? Some great link play between him and Grealish and McGinn and Trezeguet, Watkins. It all was coming through him. You mentioned he was somewhat quiet, but I mean, it was a pretty poor game, and he stood out in it.
Yeah, well, that's what good players do. You know, you can't keep them down for a whole 90 minutes. They find a way of kind of affecting the game, and it was difficult for him in the first half to kind of get on the ball. That Leicester midfield were very aggressive. You know, they were pressing, snapping into challenges, and he couldn't really affect the game that he wanted to. But if you give him that amount of space, or when the game opens up, he can be a very dangerous player, and he just looks really happy. You know, you see him celebrating at the full-time whistle there with all the players. You know, there's a few players there kind of around his age as well, and you know, he seems to have fitted in really well with that group, and he seems to be getting on with everyone and enjoying his football again. I think, you know, when Ross Barkley is happy, those are the kind of performances and those are the kind of things that he can do. That's the quality that he has. So you know, it was a fantastic finish, and as I say, he probably capped off the perfect away performance. And you have to say as well, again, defensively from Villa, keeping a clean sheet. Ezri Konsa in particular, again, I thought was outstanding alongside Tyrone Mings, and it really did limit Leicester to very few chances. It was the perfect away performance.
Yeah, just 2 goals conceded all season in the league for Aston Villa. That was the 2 they let in against Liverpool. So if you're going to concede 2, you should probably score 7 at the other end, and they did that day. Another great win for them. For Leicester, Gab's problems to solve all over the field. They never looked like scoring. Defensively looked a bit suspect. I mean, it was just very, very poor.
It was. They seemed to start brightly. You know, I thought they showed the right intensity on the front foot, but in and around the final third, they just lacked quality. You know, you look at the likes of Harvey Barnes, Ayoze, Perez. For me, at times they flattered to deceive. You know, they're streaky players. You'd like a bit more consistency out of them. You know, on their day can be very good, but at times, you know, the decision making, the lack of quality on the final pass or the final cross. You'd have to say probably Timothy Castagne was probably Leicester's best attacking player. That kind of says it all, really. And you know, when they're missing the likes of Maddison and in particular kind of Jamie Vardy, it does detract from their kind of first 11 quite a lot, and they're not quite the same team. And I think that showed as the game went on. They've kind of run out of ideas and almost handed the game to Villa in the end.
As Ben says on Twitter to @TalkSport Live, 5 injured to the starting 11 won't help any side, and you're absolutely right. Leicester looked like they were missing some real first team performers in this one, and they are deservedly beaten. This was the 4th game of the day, 3 others before this one. Let's remind you how the days unfolded. And as we just heard there from Joe Shannon, Tottenham 3, West Ham United 3. Let's hear from the two managers from the game just before this one, Jose Mourinho and David Moyes. We'll start with the special one.
It was different because Newcastle we had lots of chances to score lots of goals, and we didn't. And then in the end we were punished by VAR and by ourselves, because of course we didn't score enough goals for the quality of the football we played. Today is different. Today we scored 3 goals, and with 3 goals you have to win. There is no other comment to make it. You scored 3 goals, you have to win the game.
I'm a wee bit surprised you're saying that, because I think that our form after lockdown was really good. Yeah, we didn't play well against Newcastle, but if you said the other games, we played really well against Arsenal. I mean, we've beaten Wolves 4-0, we've beaten Leicester 3-0, we've come to Tottenham and drawn 3 each. Well, we don't need any recognition because we've got a big job to do, we know that, but I think we're improving and I think we're getting better.
Bale, you did the team already, Bale, Son and Kane, and you forget Lucas and Lamela and Lo Celso and Bergwijn, you forget the other guys. I don't forget, so I'm not confirming you that our 3 attacking players are going to beat these 3.
Yeah, fantastic result for West Ham United in the end. Tottenham were 3-0 up in 18 minutes, ended up 3-3. That goal from Manuel Lanzini will live long in the memory. One other quick story to talk to Danny Gabden about before we're out of time. Virgil van Dijk will need surgery on a knee ligament injury sustained in the 2-2 draw between Liverpool and Everton on Saturday. The 29-year-old was fouled by Jordan Pickford, or at least it was a rash challenge. A foul wasn't given in the end because he was adjudged to be offside as the ball was whipped into him. Let's briefly hear from Jurgen Klopp speaking yesterday, surprised that Pickford wasn't at least yellow carded for that terrible challenge.
Because I don't know. What can I say? I saw it once. There were players in between. For me, it was a penalty, a clear one, but then it was offside, so no penalty. But then we just walk away with it because it's not a clear foul or whatever.
Yeah, Gabs, I've got to ask you about that. Virgil van Dijk will go in for surgery. It will not be immediate. The operation has not yet been arranged. There's a chance that he may well not play again this season, and that is a catastrophic blow for Liverpool Football Club.
It's a leveller for the rest of the Premier League, and they should all be thanking Jordan Pickford, I think. Ridiculous challenge, and a career-ending challenge. It looks like he's probably going to be out for the best part 6 to 8 months. And you don't actually know if he's going to come back the same player now. It's a serious injury. I know it's an injury that happens more commonly now, but everybody can recover differently from it. Some players, they don't come back the same. We look at Manuel Lanzini and what's happened to him the last couple of seasons since he had his ACL injury. So it's a huge blow for Liverpool, because obviously he's a colossus, a big part of that defensive unit, and it's a leveller. I'm not sure if Liverpool can win the league now without him. He is that important. So you just wish him a speedy recovery, and I hope that Jordan Pickford maybe looks at himself a little bit as well and cleans his act up, because he is capable of doing silly things like that.
It should have been sent off, shouldn't it? It was awful.
Yeah, it should have been a red card. Really should have.
VAR did not look at that, but they did see an offside for what would have been the winning goal, which I have watched back genuinely 40, 50 times, and I still can't quite see the offside, but they tell us it's fact and we have to swallow it down. Gabs, always a pleasure. Wasn't the greatest of games, but great to be with you nonetheless. Thank you very much indeed.
Always a pleasure, mate. Cheers, Tom.
We are all done here for today. As we mentioned, 4 results today in the Premier League. Sheffield United 1, Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 1, Brighton 1, Tottenham 3, West Ham 3, and Leicester 0, Aston Villa 1 here. We are back tomorrow with 2 games for you. Toby Gillis and Dave Kitson have West Brom Burnley. Adam Inker and Kevin Watson bring you Leeds United against Wolverhampton Wanderers as the Premier League rolls on to Monday Night Football. We'll see you then. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on